today. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 to get your free digital dollar survival kit. And you may qualify for $1,000 in free silver. Advantage Gold is the #1 rated gold and silver company in America. Your future is precious. Protect it today when you call Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Check with your financial advisor before investing.
That's 800-900-8000.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
There's a chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny. High temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s. A little bit of a breeze, gusts up to 20 miles per hour possible. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Meteorologist Greg Perez.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free. Never sounded so good.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy speaking about the attempt to oust him from his speakership after working with Democrats to avert a government shutdown.
Keeping government open and paying our troops was the right decision. I stand by that decision. At the end of the day, if I have to lose my job over it, so be it.
He also says he thinks hard-right Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz from Florida has been planning his challenge all along. Former President Donald Trump has returned to a New York courtroom asked about the judge who already ruled that Trump and his sons committed fraud by vastly overstating what their properties are worth.
He's been given false information, misleading information, and corrupt information by a very corrupt and incompetent Attorney General.
President Biden's son Hunter has pleaded not guilty to the 3 charges he's facing. Prosecutors say he lied about his drug use when filing out a form to buy a gun 5 years ago. This is ABC News. A relatively unusual shooting in a place like Thailand. At least 2 people killed in a mall in the country's capital.
Gautam Vora was shopping with his wife and child when suddenly shots started ringing out.
Everybody was screaming and running. There was a lot of chaos in there. It was almost like a stampede.
Eventually, police took control at one of Bangkok's biggest and most upscale shopping complexes.
They kept clearing people out of there for the next 45 minutes out of there because we were just waiting over there. We were waiting for our car.
A suspect has been arrested and is in custody. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
People on Facebook and Instagram in Europe may get a chance to ditch the ads as long as they're willing to pay. The Wall Street Journal says the company behind both, Meta, is floating the idea of a subscription that would allow European users to get an ad-free experience. It's a way to comply with Europe's data privacy rules. The cost, at least $10 a month. And the baseball playoffs getting underway this afternoon with the wild card round. Rena Roy, ABC News.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
European users to get an ad-free experience.
It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KHOW News Time, 10:03.
On Sunday, 9 busloads of migrants arrived in Denver from Texas. The number of migrants has spiked recently from about 125 per day to around 300. Denver Human Services' John Ewing tells Fox 31 that's caused them to change how long migrants can stay in city shelters.
We have to get this processing moved up. For individuals, we're moving it from 21 days to 14 days. For families, though, we are giving them that extra week. We understand, especially with a small child.
Since the initial surge of migrants last December, Denver has served more than 21,000 migrants at a cost of $26 million. The city of Denver plans on spending millions of dollars to install portable toilets throughout the city. The city focusing on expanding bathroom services for the homeless and is using cell phone tracking technology to determine which areas are in most need of portable toilets. The initiative will cost $7 million over the next 3 years, which is more than 7 times the amount the city originally planned to spend on porta potties. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
After a busy early morning, we are starting to see the roads and freeways calm down throughout the Denver metro. I-25 southbound into downtown. Some slowdowns remain. We're seeing speeds in the 40s and 50s between I-70 and Spear. East of there, I-70 westbound, some stop-and-go traffic between Colorado Boulevard and York Street. Northeast of there, of course, I-270 westbound, your usual congestion points between I-70 and Vasquez. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We're officially into the fall weather months. Partly cloudy skies today, cooling down significantly after yesterday with a high of 70 degrees. Overnight low of 43, tomorrow high 69. The current temperature is 55 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Seems like COVID's everywhere again, but there's good news from Pfizer. This season's updated COVID-19 shots are now available for ages 6 months and up, and they're designed to better protect against recent variants. Ask your pharmacist or doctor and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tune into Peace to You from Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada this Sunday. Peace to You.
Hey, Tommy there?
And a fresh, uplifting start to your week. Peace to You.
Sounds good. Mark said he's going to text you.
Anyhow, at 7:30 a.m.
Medicare's annual enrollment period starts soon, and there's a lot to know about changes in plans and
What'd you
costs.
say? I'm sorry.
Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for Integrity Health Advisors, my trusted partner in helping you get
Shannon's
professional
in today.
advice in finding the right plan.
No, it's me and Jeff. I'm in today.
Talk.
Who's me? I'm sorry.
I'm going to text you.
All right. Just didn't know who it was. I have no return audio now.
I don't think your mic was up before.
No station audio.
$1,000. Listen weekdays 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. on Denver's Talk Station 630 KHOW. Presented by Wind River Spas.
When you build and price a Wind River Spa, our team gets to work. Designers draft plans, engineers run tests, and our factory puts it all together. The spa you want is the spa we build. Wind River Spas, built in Colorado for Colorado.
Denver's Talk Station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now at KHOW.com. Inflation Salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
I'm Tom Martino, and I welcome you to the show this hour, brought to you by 888heating.com. If you need a furnace, this is the season, high efficiency. They're also doing electrification. If you have solar, they're doing heat pumps, and you get honesty, integrity, great value. Listen, during this time of year, there's a few companies you'll hear me talk about for HVAC, and I promise you, outside of those companies, you may have trouble. We also have referrallist.com, but 888heating.com, we know Garrett and the team, 303-770-2776. Now, Amanda has an issue with an HOA. We have our estate planner, our estate attorney on. I don't know what you call this. Is it elder law, estate law? Anyway, we have Dan McKenzie. Dan, what area of law is this? Is it called estate law?
Yes.
Inevitable.
Yeah.
Inevitable law. Estate law.
Wills and trusts.
Estate law.
Yeah.
So estate covers everything, right?
Yes.
Now, with estate planning, do you ever get someone in and recommend things to them? Like, for example, you don't have insurance, you should have life insurance to pay maybe this or pay that, or do you ever recommend stuff?
Sure, yeah. Obviously, we have a pretty comprehensive view of our clients' situations beyond just what they want their will to say. So, yeah, we do see some stuff that we...
And throughout the show today, I want to really make this estate planning for dummies, because many times we go, oh, ha, 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 you don't have to pay tax on that, and you should know better, and don't quit claim your house. But I want to make it really clear And there is something that's very confusing that the government does. It moves the exemption for what you can leave without tax. And for most of us, it's not going to matter at all because the lowest the exemption has ever been, has it ever been zero?
Briefly, 2010, when George
So if
Steinbrenner
you died in 2010,
Yeah.
every penny of your estate was taxed.
I'm sorry, it was the other way around. There was no estate tax in 2010.
Oh, none.
Yeah, so that's famously when George Steinbrenner died. He
That
got
was the
Yankees
best
on
time.
without
That
any
was the
estate
best time
tax.
to die.
Yeah, that's a good year to die.
But there are times it's not so good to die.
Yes, I mean, relatively recently, it was $600,000 you could give away, which, that's kind of a lot of money. But with your home equity, life insurance, retirement accounts, a lot.
Now,
of people
when
are
we
in that
talk about
situation.
exemption, folks, and I'm going to go right to the phones. When we talk about exemptions, here's what we're talking about: a lifetime exemption. Congress dictates a lifetime exemption that you can give away without any tax. Now, everything you give away during your life goes against that exemption except if you do yearly gifts under a certain amount. Okay, so it's kind of complicated. Even though you have a lifetime exemption, as Dan McKenzie brought out, you also have a yearly exemption only if you don't want it to go against your base. For example, let's just make it easy. Let's say the exemption was $5 million, meaning that, let's say the current law was $5 million you could give away during your life, and nothing is taxed until after that. Then the estate pays tax on it, and it's a hefty tax. So let's say you give away $1 million a year. Technically, you'd exhaust that in about 5 years, right? $1 million a year, you give away $5 million in your lifetime. Now, if you give away under a certain amount, it does not count against the exemption, and that's called a yearly exemption.
Correct.
What's the yearly exemption for 2023?
17,000 per person.
So, if you give away 17 or under, or does it have to be 16,999?
You go to 17.
Okay. If you give away 17,000 or under in any given year to any recipient, it doesn't go against your lifetime exemption.
You don't have to, you don't have to tell the
What if you give $17,000 to 10 people? That's $170,000. Does that count against it?
It's not.
No. So each recipient, if they receive less than 17 or 17 or less this year, it doesn't go against your lifetime exemption. But here's the problem. So many people think that's the limit for giving. It's not. If you don't have a prayer of ever accumulating, what's the exemption?
Almost 13 million.
Okay. If you don't have a $13 million estate this year, you can give away up to $13 million even in 1 year. No tax, no gift tax. So people just have that so confused. The only time the yearly exemption matters, the yearly limit, is if you don't want it counting against your lifetime exclusion. Okay, now let's keep going. And again, we have Amanda. Okay, Amanda, your turn. What's going on, Amanda?
Hi, Mr. Martino. Thanks so much for taking my call. I really don't know what to do anymore. So kind of Cliff Notes version of what happened. I bought my first home. I'm a single mom. I did it by myself. I closed April 25th. On June 5th, my apartment flooded with raw sewage.
Is this a condo? You just said an apartment.
Yeah, it's a condo.
Okay. A condo. And when did it flood?
June 5th.
Geez, just a couple months later. Okay, how are you on the bottom floor?
So it's a 2-story. It's like a row house.
Okay, so it's like a townhome.
Correct.
So you enter your own entrance?
I do.
Okay, and they're side by side attached?
Correct.
Where did it flood?
My entire downstairs.
Now, are you saying downstairs as in first floor where you live, or do you have a basement?
It's my first floor.
Uh-oh. How did that happen?
Yeah, what caused it?
So I had Roto-Rooter come out on my dime and they scoped the pipe, and they said the pipe is cracked and shifted against the main line of the plumbing system.
All right, but here's what I need to know. The one that shifted, was it the one going to, is there one line that feeds the whole building, or does each unit have its own line?
So every 2 units shares a line
Got
that
it.
connects to the main line.
Did the other person have a backup?
They don't have a backup, but they have plumbing issues. Like, it takes their toilet 3 minutes to refill every time they flush.
Did the sewer line
and they have low
collapse,
water
did they
pressure.
say, or just shifted?
It cracked and shifted into the ground.
How old are these units?
55 years, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, Amanda, listen. Before you bought it, did you have that sewer line inspected?
No, because per the HOA bylaws, lines that service multiple units
Right, you can't
are
do
the
anything
HOA's
to.
responsibility.
It's the
Right.
HOA's responsibility.
Correct.
Okay, so I want to know this. First of all, this is just a side note. I wouldn't use Roto-Rooter or trust them, okay? That's just a side note. That doesn't mean they're wrong. It doesn't mean they're wrong every time or want to rip you off. I just wouldn't trust them. So I would get another assessment. Now, you have homeowners insurance that covered that backup, right?
Well, so what originally happened is that the HOA paid a contractor to come flood cut my walls and then left it. So I've got open walls, all of the insulation is showing through, and all of
No,
my
I get
cables
it.
and
Is
stuff
here's what I need to know quickly. Is the HOA going to take care of the whole thing or not?
So originally, yes, and they approved a $12,000 repair of my unit.
Of your
So
unit,
they
and does
started
that include the line?
It was supposed to.
What happened?
So they left my walls flood flooded, and then I believe it was August the 6th or the 8th, I'll have to double check, they sent me an email that said, well, we had Olson Plumbing and Heating come out. They can't find a crack in the line, and so we're not going to do anything to your unit. And they're not going to repair the walls.
Amanda,
So I had
Amanda, what are they saying caused the backup?
They are not saying. They just said Olson Plumbing and Heating did not find a crack in the line, so they're not doing anything. And
Okay,
they're
I get it.
revoking
I want you to
therefore.
hold on. I have some ideas, okay? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Hey, we have a lot to talk about. Stick around. DenverHairClinic.com does hair replacement, and here's the great part. They will do stem cell or follicle transplants, whichever works in your case. They do one or both. They always do stem cell if you have just thinning hair. They've had great results. DenverHairClinic.com.
30 seconds.
This report is sponsored
There's
by
a chance of
Lowe's.
showers and thunderstorms this morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny. High temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s. A little bit of a breeze. Gusts up to 20 miles per hour possible. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Meteorologist Greg Perez.
Klein tools are new at Lowe's. Right now, get the new Klein 3-piece Modbox mobile workstation exclusively at Lowe's for just $319.94. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Hey, you just heard that case with a sewer backup. You know how many times we hear that? Plus, we have pipe breaks, we have asbestos and mold, we have weather problems, we have fire. Whatever it is, American Restoration 24/7 should be your first call. Let me tell you why. The so-called restoration industry sucks, riddled with liars, cheats, and corruption. I trust and know American Restoration 24/7. Rock and his team are EPA certified for all of the major cleanups of chemicals, dangerous stuff, asbestos, mold. Then they help you rebuild to the extent you want. They do exactly what you need in the beginning to stop the damage. American Restoration 24/7, 8337-AM-REST. That stands for American Restoration, 8337-AM-REST or amrest247.com. You know, I have Mackenzie here today doing estate law. We also have a specialty in real estate, O'Brien Legal Services. I love having attorneys for what you need when you need them. O'Brien Legal Services, anything to do with real estate. If you have a closing coming up, you want them to review docs, it makes a lot of sense. A few $100 compared to the thousands you spend on real estate. What about border disputes, easements, eminent domain, adverse possession, or HOA problems even? Whatever it is to do with real estate, tenant, landlord, if you need someone, olslaw.com, 720-370-7388. Garage floors are pretty ugly. Elite Garage Floors makes them beautiful. Elite Garage Floors makes all concrete beautiful. I love these guys. Elite Garage Floors. The same company we have been endorsing for years, and now what they're doing is they're on their own, elitegf.com, guaranteed for life, guaranteed lowest prices, and they guarantee that you never put a dime down until you're delighted. 720-939-2448.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet,
Possible, okay? Hold on.
Sounds good.
All right.
Ten seconds.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Fix it 24/7, by the way. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, drains. This is what they call the shoulder season. What does that mean, Mark? What is the shoulder season?
Nothing going on.
I know it. So it's a great time to check out what you need when you need it. And by the way, they do all the vital home services. People I use in my home, fix it 24/7, fixmyhome.com. They have that incredible $39 furnace clean, extreme clean and check with a no breakdown guarantee, 720-526-3939. And I think George will be in tomorrow as a guest. Now, let's keep going here. Now, we have a question for Dan McKenzie from Dan. Dan, welcome. Let's talk to Dan. And I have an idea for Amanda. I'm just holding on to see what my insurance people say and something else. So hang on, Amanda. I haven't forgotten about you. Go ahead, Dan. What is your question?
See, my wife died, and she had quite a pretty good sized estate.
What size,
and
Dan?
What she did is she had, well, it was about $600,000 or $700,000. But anyway, she was living here, and then she got Alzheimer's and moved out to New Jersey just to be with her family for the last 3 years.
Were you guys separated? Were you still married?
Yeah, we're still married. Well,
when did she die? Married, yeah. When did she die?
In March.
Okay, so now she had about 600 or 700. Was this jointly held? How? Tell me what she had in six. What did she have in assets?
Well, she had, just a bunch of funds that she got from a 401k, and then she ended up putting it in.
Did she have
Vanguard
these funds pre-marriage?
Yeah, she had, almost all of it.
Okay.
Or no, not pre-marriage.
I was just curious. Dan's going to weigh in on this. So, in other words, this money that she had, it was all hers in her name?
Well, yeah, I think it probably,
for example, with a 401k, were you named as a beneficiary on anything?
I think I was.
How long were you married?
I'm not sure about that. 20 years.
And does she have kids?
No.
And did she have a will?
Yeah, she had a will, and they said it could be changed, and she put her sister as the lady that distributes everything or whatever.
Yeah, but hold on. So she made the sister the personal representative?
Yeah.
When she moved out to be with her sister, were you guys estranged?
No.
All right, so Dan, I'm talking to Dan McKenzie, now attorney at law. Dan, what do you advise him?
Well, I guess the first question is you should figure out whether you're a beneficiary on those retirement accounts for sure. And they might not tell you, but they, if you're not, but you could.
Or yeah, I'm a beneficiary. See, I'm going to get the house,
okay,
and I don't some cash, probably about $200,000. I was wondering if I have to pay tax on that cash.
No. What
well,
cash?
hang on a minute.
Hold on.
Is it from the retirement account?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Probably if it's a 401k or a traditional IRA, you are going to have to pay income tax.
But let's explain this in a simple way. Like I said, I want to make a state simple. Here's what we want to say, Dan. Anything that you get where taxes have been paid, or anything that you get where you don't make a profit, there is no tax. If I leave you $1 million, there's no tax. However, if I had the money, like your wife had the money in a retirement account, and it was never taxed, you simply pay the tax she would have normally paid. Is that right, Dan?
Yes, at your rate.
At your rate?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Dan?
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Because I was looking at on the internet, in New Jersey, you have to pay all the tax on the IRA before it's distributed.
Well, that's what, and in most states you do that, but some states allow you to file with your taxes and pay it. But Dan, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, some states do have their own estate tax on top of the federal, so I guess I'd have to understand New Jersey's, and some states have.
Boy, leave it to New Jersey to have that.
Like in Colorado, if I was left an IRA, I either have to distribute it and pay the tax on it over a certain amount of time, or take a lump sum and pay the tax. So the tax is, how is an IRA taxed? Ordinary income, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Dan, so let's say you get an IRA or a 401k of $500,000. You're probably, how much do you make a year right now?
Well, I'm retired.
So your tax rate might be 20, 30%?
Yeah, probably 20, 25 or whatever.
So then if you get, let's say you get $500,000. You're going to pay some of that, about $125 in tax.
Okay, so if I get this lump of money, it'd probably be best just to put it in an IRA.
No, now listen. You're talking about rolling it over. The rollover provisions are such that you can only delay it for how long, Dan?
So it's 10 years.
So he can delay those taxes?
Yeah, it's different for spouses, though. So spouses, you can roll it over, you could keep it there, and you can pull it out on your schedule.
Wait a minute. So can a spouse keep it forever as an IRA then?
Yes, but then you do have the RMDs. You have the minimum distributions you do have to take.
If you're 72. How old are you, Dan?
73.
Okay. Here's what happens, according to Dan, I think, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. At 73 years old, he can put that in an IRA of his own, and he doesn't pay immediate tax except for the minimum required distribution every year.
Correct.
Now.
Yeah, that's what I found that out, yeah.
But I gave you wrong information. I want everyone to hear this. For spouses, I didn't know this, Dan. For spouses, when you inherit an IRA or a 401k, you can roll it over as your retirement plan if you're a spouse. Yeah. But if you're an heir, you can either take it as a lump sum or spread it out over how long?
10 years.
10 years. So, Dan, I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope everything works out. You are going to get the money when?
Probably here in another month or so. But what if I put all that money in a CD or something here in Wells Fargo Bank?
If you take the money as a lump sum and do not roll it over, you're going to pay an immediate 25 to 30% tax. Whatever bracket you're in, you're going to pay that in tax up front.
Okay, so it'd be best just to put it in an IRA.
Well, that's up to you. What do you need? Do you need money immediately? If so, you pay the tax and be done with it. Do you?
No.
Okay, and the house, by the way, you inherit. Were you on the deed of the house?
Yes.
Okay.
The house is all paid for.
So the house automatically, hold on, the house automatically reverted to you, is that right?
Yeah.
So Mark, what were you saying, Mark?
He should talk to an accountant, period.
Yeah, or an attorney, right, exactly. But listen, Dan, Dan McKenzie's a good guy. You can always call him for quick questions as well. But I don't know if you need an estate attorney if you're simply, now if you want to know options, that would be, I think, more suited for an accountant as well. But anyway, McKenzie is at 833-CO-PLANS. 833-CO-PLANS.
Okay.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com.
After a busy early morning, we are starting to see the roads and freeways calm down throughout the Denver metro. I-25 southbound into downtown. Some slowdowns remain. We're seeing speeds in the 40s and 50s between I-70 and Spear. East of there, I-70 westbound, some stop-and-go traffic between Colorado Boulevard and York Street. Northeast of there, of course, I-270 westbound, your usual congestion points between I-70 and Vasquez. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We're officially into the fall weather months. Partly cloudy skies today, cooling down significantly after yesterday with a high of 70 degrees. Overnight low of 43, tomorrow high 69. The current temperature is 55 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
15 seconds.
More than a fence, they offer what no other pet containment company can. Patented technology combined with hands-on training to ensure protection for the pet you love while allowing them to enjoy more of their yard. Visit InvisibleFence.com today to learn more about what sets them apart.
So I've told you about O'Brien for real estate law. We got McKenzie for estate law. Now let's talk personal injury. John Fuller Law. I love having great attorneys to recommend. And the emphasis on personal injury is personal. And John Fuller gives you that personal attention. Now, I know there are plenty of personal injury attorneys around, but here's the deal. You're going to probably make some phone calls. I want you to call Fuller first. I do. Just to compare others and notice the difference. Here's the first thing you're going to notice. You're going to talk to John Fuller directly. Now, he'll give you free legal advice and some advice. If you decide you want to hire him, it's on a percentage fee basis, like most attorneys work, but he negotiates expenses at the end to net you more money. Plus, you get his cell phone number. You can be in continual contact with him by text or phone call. That's what he believes in, personal attention. That's John Fuller. Notice the difference. No call centers. 303-597-4500, 597-4500, myaccidentlawyer.co. Now, when it comes to automobile repair, car repair, motor vehicles, whatever, you want electrical repairs, you want regular maintenance, regular repairs, one place does it all, Sheridan Auto Tech, including pre-buy inspections for used cars, and get this, they also do your service even when your car's under warranty. Now, of course, if it's covered by warranty for a replacement, you go to the dealer, but Sheridan will keep track of all your records, keep your warranty intact. 303-455-7242. Honesty, integrity, value, experience, everything you want. 303-455-7242.
Many of you are seeing your credit
How
card.
much time do I have, bro?
You've got about 1, 2, 3.5.
What's shaking, Dan?
How do you feel about never defaulted on this? There's still going to be this falsification, so-called, exaggerated. I'll guarantee you, if you hold your application ready, you're going to find it. I think you will. Not, obviously, you shouldn't lie, right? Like, I'm making $300,000 a year. I'm not talking about that, but
10 seconds.
And Capless today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's go back to Amanda. I'm with Dan McKenzie, attorney at law for estate planning purposes, if you have any questions. And right now, I'd like to talk to Amanda about this because there's a number of options. Now, Amanda, first and foremost, you have Roto-Rooter saying you had a crack-shifted line, and you have another plumber saying it's not. What the Homeowners Association is saying is if your sewer backed up just because it backed up, they're not responsible. And that could be true. It could have been something down the drain. It could have been whatever. But they're saying there's nothing wrong with it, and if that's the case, well, did Roto-Rooter, for example, route out the drain when they were there, or just cameraed it, or what?
So they tried doing the thing in the toilet. I don't know what it's called, and they're like, no, there's nothing here. So they went out to the line, the
clean
tap
out
on the outside
They
of the
went out
house.
to the clean out, and what did they do?
Yeah. They cleaned it out, and then they scoped it.
What did they say they found when they cleaned it out? Did they say it was root? It shouldn't be roots, right? Well, it could be roots. Here's the deal, and you're not going to like what I'm going to say, even though it's accurate, and you should do it. Don't take Roto-Rooter's word for anything, okay? You can't.
Okay.
You can't hang your hat on it. Now, here's the next thing I want to tell you. Do not let the HOA's plumber dictate either. You truly need, like Plumbline Services. They're great drain people. They have their own drain division, their own equipment.
They won't work there.
What, Mark?
It's a shared wall. They won't work there.
It's a shared, so they won't do any shared property?
We've had this conversation 40 times.
What's that?
We've had this conversation a lot. They won't go out if it's a shared wall like that.
No, it's a shared line. You're right. If it's a townhome with its own line, they would work on it. It's the shared line that, you're right, it's shared with a neighbor, right? Your line is shared with a neighbor. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Hey, listen, there must be a way she can defend herself, though, Mark, and get evidence. What if it is cracked or shifted?
Well, I'm sure there's someone that'll go out there. I'm just saying Plumbline.
Okay. Fix It 24/7 also has, they started their own drain division. Remember, Mark, they talked about that at their annual meeting.
Yep.
Maybe you call Fix It 24/7. Mark is saying with a shared line. Now, you could, Amanda, talk to your neighbor that you share the line with. Do you know which neighbor it is?
So the neighbor that I share the line with, the people in that home are renting, and I don't have the homeowner's information. The neighbor on the other side of me, we haven't confirmed we share a line, but she had plumbing June 29th, and that cost $65,000 worth of damage in her unit.
Wait, she
Mine
had a
was
backup?
a lot less at 12. Correct.
But you don't know who
But
you don't know who you share with, do
with
you?
the neighbor to the left. I know I share for sure with the neighbor to the left. They're the ones whose water won't refill in the toilet and stuff like that. The neighbor to my right had extreme sewage flooding in her unit, but we have not been able to confirm we share a line because they can't get their camera through a certain bend in the pipe.
Amanda, this is a nightmare. You're
It's
going
been
to have
so
to.
bad, Tom.
Here's the problem, okay? First of all, your homeowner's insurance should cover this. Do you have coverage for this?
So I have my homeowner's insurance, but when I talk to farmers, I sent them all of the HOA bylaws and documents and stuff, and they're like, no, it is the HOA's responsibility.
Okay, but Amanda,
Because,
let me tell you how many mistakes are here. First of all, farmers is the worst insurance you could have. In the future, please do some shopping, please, and get rid of them, please. I don't know how to stress that enough, okay? They're always going to turn it down if they can. Even though it's the HOA's responsibility, if the HOA leaves you high and dry, it's up to your insurance company to insure you and then subrogate against the HOA. That is their responsibility. Don't let them shrug off the responsibility. They should fix it. If you have sewer line backup coverage, do you know if you have that or not?
I have sewer line, but not water not flooding.
Hold on. It's not a flood. When it comes from the sewer, it's not a flood. You do have sewer line backup coverage.
I do.
Then listen, farmers needs to take care of this, or you need to file, this is yet another problem, what's called a bad faith lawsuit. The good news about bad faith lawsuits is that they pay attorney's fees and they pay triple the damages if farmers unduly or unjustly withholds a claim. They need to cover you. They're the ones that go and subrogate. When you have an accident, they don't say, well, it's the other person's fault, we're not covering you. They say, well, okay, we'll cover you and go after the homeowners association. And by the way, Amanda, here's the deal. It could be there's nothing wrong with the sewer. It could be there is. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Do you know what it's going to cost to fix everything?
Yeah, the estimate was like $12,700, so
Okay.
$12,700.
Okay. Now, I'm going to get someone to hold your hand during this and help you with farmers. But you need, I think Deputy Dollar, you need to get one of our volunteers, our deputy. He can help you, but you need to pressure farmers or we're going to put you in touch with a bad faith litigator. I'm serious. You may have to go all the way through with this. Now, it should not be your problem. Now, once you get this fixed, if the sewer line backs up again, then we got a real problem. But you need to figure out a way to get the report from their other plumber. Their plumber is who?
It was Olson Plumbing and Heating.
Did they camera? Did they scope
give it to her?
Yes, they scoped it.
Will they give you a copy of
it.
that?
I could ask them. I'll be honest. I kind of thought they might be in bed with the HOA.
Well, they could be.
So,
They could be, but
HOA
I
paid
still.
them.
Mark, what were you going to
The
say, Mark?
HOA paid him.
Listen.
Sorry?
The HOA is paying their bill, but they should allow you to see that report. Here's the first step.
Okay.
I want to give you a deputy, a volunteer of ours, who's going to help you. And I say volunteer because you don't have to pay anything. They're going to help you. I want them to look into this and kind of pressure farmers. If they don't pay, if farmers doesn't pay, we need to get you involved. Honest to God, we need to just let farmers sting on this because this could be a bad faith litigation. And Mark, that one law firm that we know does bad faith, I know they do mostly roofs, but I think they would handle this, wouldn't they?
Well, here's what I do, honestly. I would call Matt, and the reason I'd call Matt, he can look at what happened, whether it's flooding, whether it's seeping, whether it's whatever, and see if the coverage is actually there. I mean, to me, that would be free, and that would be the first path to follow. And then if Matt says, yeah, you should definitely be covered, and they're still not covering it, then I would go the attorney route.
Okay. The first call Mark is talking about to Matt, he's talking about Matt Stanford at over at Paragon Services. Okay? And that Paragon Services, Kachina will get you that number.
Yeah, and he's going to need your entire policy. You should be able to download that. And then the actual denial letter, which will state why they're denying it. And he'll be able to look at the two and give you a real opinion if you have coverage or not. That's all he does every day is look at coverages, look at damage, and make that determination.
More to talk about, 303-713-TALK.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
After a busy drive throughout the Denver metro this morning, we are seeing a quiet commute for the late morning hours. I-25 north and southbound are seeing intended highway speeds into and out of downtown. Over on the west end through Wheat Ridge, Wadsworth northbound, we're seeing some road work between 38th and 44th with about 5 minutes of delays through the area. I-70 east and westbound, for the most part, an easy drive. One exception just east of downtown, I-70 westbound, some stop-and-go traffic approaching York Street. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We are well into the fall weather with a high of 70 degrees this afternoon, overnight low of 43. The current temperature in Denver is 58 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW. Hi, I'm
15 seconds.
.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping shipping at blindster.com.
You know, one of the things with estate planning is a retirement plan. Now, Dan McKenzie handles estate law. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies often recommend people to him to get their estates in order. They also help people with long-term insurance. They help people establishing investment accounts and also income accounts like fixed indexed annuities, whatever you need. Here's the bottom line. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies handles all of the major elements of retirement to help you get ready for retirement. If you're younger, they help you build a nest egg. They have strategies that can build nest eggs and then convert to income. If you're older, they have lump sum options. If you have money built up in the stock market or in a 401k or an IRA, better than just drawing it down in retirement and running out. Why don't you check with them? It's free of charge. They'll be happy to talk to you about everything they do for you and what it costs. And they always outweigh benefits with the small fees they charge. rpcenter.com. Call for a free analysis. They're sponsors of this show, and I trust them. I'm a customer. rpcenter.com, 970-663-3211. If you need some spare cash, DavidEllisJewelry.com. 3rd and Clayton. That's the black awning over there you'll see in Cherry Creek. They're a name that's been around for 40 years and a name you can trust. Why do I say that? Because when you're selling old junk jewelry, chains, watches, broken watches, coin collections, mismatched earrings, you want to make sure they weigh it and pay it correctly and honestly. David Ellis Jewelry will do that. He'll also buy used and antique jewelry. Give him a call, 303-322-8779.
Do roller coaster stock markets make you...
Okay.
I haven't heard boo from Kelly. Are you even alive?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. There's a question for Mackenzie up. So I had to change my credit card for, what do you call it, E470, whatever it's called. So I have no idea what my password is there. I haven't logged into that account online for a million years. It automatically just debits. So they send me 3 questions I got to answer, none of which I have ever answered in my life. So I don't know what the hell to do. You know, usually it says, what was your first car?
Yep.
It says, what color was your first car? So I put it in, but I think I'd remember that. Then instead of saying, who's your favorite band, it says, who's your favorite musician, which I don't even know what I would answer.
Yeah, the Monkees, you asshole.
God, it's crazy, man. No, but it says musicians, not band.
Oh.
Who would you put down for favorite musician?
Gosh, let me think.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I mean, got to answer all
favorite
of these.
meaning who I think is one of the greatest. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean,
I have no idea what they mean. You'd probably put down the Yellow Submarine people, what? Right? Lennon?
Elton John would be one of them. I would say he's got to be one of them. I mean, as far as Billy Joel, I like John Legend. Michael Jackson. As far as talent, Paul McCartney. Lady Gaga.
Ten seconds.
8717 to get the help you need. That's the Raleigh House. 720-797-8717.
Denver's talk station.
Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Bill has a question for Dan McKenzie. I want to get our professional questions in as soon as possible. What's going on?
Hey, how do they determine the mandatory withdrawal from your IRA at right age?
Okay, it's a minimum required distribution yearly, and what they do is they have a percentage based on, well, you got to start taking it at 73, and I think it's 3%, but I don't know. Dan, do you know the actual amount? You don't know the actual amount, but the trustee will know. Like, for example,
well, I called them up, and they said there's a formula.
Well, okay, there is. And that's what I use Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies for, although I didn't reach 73 yet. But here's the point. At age 73, whatever you have accumulated in qualified plans, listen carefully, qualified plans, then must be distributed, but you don't take 3% from each one. It's a grand total, I think. You know what I'm going to do? Let's get Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies on for a quick question. Get one of those people on, Kachina, and we'll answer that. Susan has been waiting a while. She has a question about a hybrid SUV. Susan, go ahead. What's going on?
I wanted to buy a new Tucson, and I was debating whether or not to get a gas Tucson or a hybrid. And I know Mark's bought a lot of.
He loves Hyundais, and I love Hyundais, and
I do as well.
I personally don't like hybrids, personally. Okay, and I don't like them because you have both systems to worry about. I'd rather go one or the other. That's me personally.
Yeah.
Mark, how do you feel about that?
How long are you going to keep it?
Well, probably till I can't drive anymore. I'm 75, so.
So, I mean, you could, if you're going to have it over 10, you're not going to drive the same car for 10 years. I don't care how old you are. I personally would go with whatever's cheapest or has the best financing. I don't think it's going to matter.
Okay.
Yeah, go. Mark, you're saying the best deal, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I've had a lot of Hyundais. I've had a Sonata hybrid. It doesn't save you much gas, so if you're going to pay a fortune extra for it, I wouldn't get it. But like I said, I'd go with whatever has the best deal. I would shop McDonald Hyundai. They're good people over there. And what's that one up north, Tom? We like those guys, too. Dang it, I can't think of the name of it.
I can't either. Wait.
They
Hyundai.
also bought Medved, I think.
Oh, Foundation.
Foundation, that's right. Foundation has one up north. So if you go in, get a price from one, leave with at least a piece of paper with the information, and then call the other and see what they say.
Mark, what do you think about Arapahoe Hyundai?
I don't mind Arapahoe. Arapahoe's a little different. They're, they're kind of no frills, which is not a big deal. But, I mean, you can shop all three. There's nothing wrong with Arapahoe. They lost their Genesis dealership is why I don't go there anymore, because now most of my Hyundais have turned into Genesis.
And Planet Hyundai, too.
I'm not big on Planet. No,
why is that, Mark?
I wouldn't go there.
Why?
I just didn't like them. I've shopped them over the years numerous times. I think they're one of these, no squabble, whatever the price is what it is, like it or not kind of people. But I'm not sure. It's been a while.
But as people go, you know what I found odd, Mark, as we're just discussing this? I don't know if it's odd, but most Hyundai dealers are pretty good.
I got a direct link over to the GM. Anytime we have any issue come in with McDonald Hyundai, McDonald BMW, McDonald Volkswagen, whatever they have, I've got a direct line, which is kind of nice, and the guy responds instantly.
Oh, that's cool. So that's what we think. Look for the deal. Look for the
Okay.
steal.
Well, thanks so much.
Okay, Susan, thank you. Mike has a question on purchasing a Hyundai. Hang on, Mike. And then we're going to get a question.
It's Hyundai Day.
We want to get a question answered from Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. So get them on about the minimum required distribution and how it's calculated. So we got a lot going on. I'm Tom Martino.
Hi, Dan Cicchini, done right.
All right. I drink a lot of coffee. That's because I like it. Cold weather is coming. Is your furnace ready? Plumbline can get it ready with a maintenance check for just $79. That's a plumb crazy deal. They'll make sure it's running efficiently and catch the little problems before they become serious. Earning trust since '98 from Castle Rock to Longmont with the ethics and character to do it right. Schedule online. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. PlumlineServices.com. Service at home. Servants at heart. PlumlineServices.com. All right, I'm going to step away.
Was that supposed to be alive, Kevin?
Fresh fill up or anything?
No, I'm good.
11:15.
No. That one that just went on.
No, the only live 120 we have today is at 11:15.
No. I'm not talking about 120s. I mean, was there any lives accidentally on the news break? I guess is the question.
Good morning. Who do we got? Gary, how you doing? All right, we've just had some some various questions come up. A couple people. We have Dan McKenzie in studio right now, and a lot of people are asking about Roth IRAs and fixed IRAs and how they come up with the formula to actually take money out and all that. So that's probably what Tom is going to be asking you about. Okay. All right, hold on. Uh-oh, what's Nico doing?
He was out chasing wild boar. I trained him to hunt wild boar over the weekend. Dan McKenzie. Daniel McKenzie. I can see you, but you cannot talk, can you? Talk, I want to see if I can hear you.
Hello.
There you go. How you been, man?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing very good. I've asked you this, but I forgot the answer. Is it a busy time of year or a slow time, or in your biz, it's always the same?
I haven't noticed any patterns, really. I think when the estate tax was a bigger deal, end of year type stuff was probably a more frantic time for people.
People, yeah. Let me ask you this. Over COVID, did you see a lot more business?
There was kind of an initial bump, and then it kind of evened out. A lot about
That's
COVID.
interesting.
Yeah.
Savvy, what kind of car have you had for 15 years? What is it? Toyota? Hyundai? It's weird how we hear just the news music. Do you guys on YouTube hear that too? I hear nothing. I don't hear the news. I just hear the in and out of the music. I didn't know the music had its own bed like that. That's crazy. Why is that?
It's how it's always been.
What do you mean? You usually hear the bed of music, but you don't hear the news?
No.
Maybe you're not hearing it. Maybe no one's hearing it but me, actually.
Well, I was on the phone, so.
I just heard don, 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 don.
Well, actually, it's probably not a bad thing if it was the national feed, because they're horrible.
Well, it doesn't, but I don't care. I don't want to get into politics. I don't understand why there was no music, or only music. It was crazy.
Do not know.
It's weird. I don't know. What is he talking about? I keep hearing like the introductory music for like the ABC News, but then no.
Yeah, people on YouTube heard the same thing.
Hold
I
on,
have
it
never
could be
heard
me.
that before
Hold on.
ever. No, it definitely wasn't you.
I
Don't
just
touch
muted
anything.
my computer just in case.
God, don't.
Huh?
Don't do anything. Don't touch anything. Don't ask about anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I know you don't. If you heard what was going on, you would have been perplexed as well.
You mean, was it coming from my end, Mark?
No, it was coming from the board.
Oh.
And all you could hear, you know, during the national news, you hear, don, 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 and then the news, and then at the end they do it again. All you heard was the middle. I mean, all you heard was the bookends.
Mark, you remember, wasn't there a guy called Scottish Stained Glass years ago? Is he still around?
I think you're thinking of the Scottish Roasterman.
No, he talked with an accent, or you remember he advertised.
Oh, you're right. No, there's no way he could be around, but I don't think you can repair stained glass, do you?
I think you can, yeah.
God, that would be an art.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I remember you're talking to. I know exactly. It was like Scottish stained glass. He was everywhere for a while.
Yeah, it's still around. He's still around. Great rating.
Oh, interesting. Give that guy that info, because that's pretty good memory for an old guy.
Yeah, write that. Oh, I don't have my guy to write it down for the lawsuit.
Ten seconds.
Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation Salvation on 630
really
KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by 888heating.com. I stress that because it's before the cold. If you want a high-efficiency unit, they specialize in high-efficiency, money-saving units for furnace or air or both at 888heating.com. Honesty, integrity, great value. This is the time of year a lot of rats come out of the woodwork, so be careful who you deal with, okay? 888heating.com, great company, 303-770-2776. Now, got a lot of good companies. That's what counts. We really take referralist.com seriously. Now, Mike had a question on purchasing a new Hyundai, and Mark seems to be the Hyundai expert because he's had so damn many of them. And, of course, as a result of that, I got one of them for my daughter. And go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. My daughter's turning 16, and what model Mark would recommend to get that's safe?
I got the Elantra for my daughter. Mark, you're the one that recommended the Elantra. What do you recommend now, still?
It all comes down to, do you want an SUV or a car? What do you want for her?
SUV.
The little Kona. I got one for my daughter. Her first car was an Elantra. When she went off to college, we got her a Kona, and she's up in Laramie, Wyoming. This thing cuts through the snow. It's four-wheel drive. It's gas efficient. It looks cool.
Mark, what do they sell for about?
God, I don't even know, man. Pre-COVID, we paid maybe 17, 18. I would assume they come in around 20 to 23.
Is that loaded?
Pretty much all of them have the safety features. If you're talking stuff like leather and like upgraded wheels and stuff, not necessarily. That might be up around 25. But the other stuff, the driver assist, if she starts veering off the road, the automatic braking, the backup camera, all that stuff's pretty standard on all Hyundais and Kias now.
Mark?
Well, for that matter, all cars.
Mark, what model was that?
The Kona, like Kona coffee.
Okay. Kona. Let us know
They're
how
really cool little cars.
And try over, he likes McDonald over there. McDonald Hyundai.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, see what happens. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I got Dan McKenzie with me, attorney at law who does estate planning. And one of the questions that came up when he was talking about inheriting money in a qualified plan, if you're a spouse, you can roll it over. But if you're over 73 or older, you have to take a required minimum distribution. Somebody called and asked, how do you calculate that? Gary Hansen is with Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. Gary, how is a minimum like you turn 73, how is the minimum required distribution calculated? Is there a flat percentage or what?
Yes, the IRS, Tom, publishes a table based on life expectancy. Basically, at 73, you have to take 3.65% of whatever the account balance was on 12/31 of the previous year. Okay. And then every year, that percentage will go up just a little bit based on the fact that you're getting older. And folks can just jump on the web and just punch in RMD schedule, and they'll see the table that it takes, because what it's doing is just calculating life expectancy.
All right. So, Gary, on a required distribution, you say 3.6% for this year. Now,
3.65% in the first year, yes.
When you're 73, I mean. Okay. Now.
And now some people, Tom, based on their year of birth, their RMDs move to 75. So.
I get it. So now. I see. Some are 73, but some born later, their expectancy is longer, so they go to 75.
Well, yes, they've done that to just try to. I'm not sure why, but yeah, they've recently moved people born after 1960 to age 75.
Hey, Gary, does income ever matter at that point? Let's say you have an IRA with whatever, $500,000, $1 million. It doesn't even matter. $50. If you're still making good money and paying taxes on everything you're making each year, you still have a job, do you still have to pull from the IRA, even though, let's say, you're making a couple $100,000 a year?
In other words, do you have to still take an RMD?
Yes.
Now, next question. What income?
Well, good news of the truth.
Well, wait. Let's go back to that question. Let's say I got to take $10,000 out, or just throw a number out there, but I made enough money, I still work for a company. Can I still put money into the IRA?
Yes. I know that for sure, Mark.
You can contribute to qualified plans as long as you have earned income. What a lot of people think they're going to do when they retire is take some of the earnings they're getting off of other things and put it in a qualified plan, but you can't do that if you don't have earned income. There has to be an earned income rule there, so yes, you could, Mark.
Now, Gary, next question. You take your qualified plans and take 3.65% at age 73. What I want to know is all qualified plans added up together, or are some excluded?
No, any tax qualified plan that you've deferred taxes on and never paid taxes on before, you will have to add those together, whether you take it out of one plan or all 5 plans. In your example, it doesn't matter. You just have to take out the necessary amount.
Okay, so it's not 3.6% of each plan. It's a total of all your qualified plans. You take 3.65.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. That's rpcenter.com, 970-663-3211. Great information. Now, we have a question on reverse osmosis. What I'd like to do is get Paul the Waterman on for that, if we can, Kachina, and I'll go to Dahlia right now. Dahlia, welcome to the show. What's going on?
I had a loan with Capital One for an F-150, and I paid it off in June. The schedule was originally for October of this year.
And how much was the loan? It was $150,000?
No, my vehicle is an F-150.
I'm sorry. Oh, for an F-150.
Yeah,
okay.
Nope. Yes. So I paid it off early. So when I called after a month, which was in July, and I did not receive my title, they said, "Oh, sorry, we sent it to the wrong address, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, at least you could give me a letter of apology for not sending it to the correct address, because I did change my address."
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
I changed it. Okay,
well why the hell would you want... Wait, I can't glance over that. Why the hell would you want a letter of apology?
Because I gave them the information when I called. I told them 3 months. 3 months I told them I changed my address. And they said, when I finally...
Look, I'm not trying to beat you up here. What would you do with the letter of apology? Maybe that's the better way to question it.
I just considered it to be...
Wait, is that the only issue right now? You want a letter of apology?
No. I want my title. I'm looking for the title. And I was saying, since you guys sent it to the wrong address when you actually told me, yes, you do have the address was confirmed as correct, but you did not send it to that address. You sent it somewhere else, and I don't know where they sent it to. They did not tell me, and I'm still waiting.
Was it in Colorado?
Yes, of course.
Long as the lien release shows up on it now, and I assume it did because you said it was Capital One and I've dealt with them, you should be able to go down. I'm saying, did you buy it in Colorado? Was it titled in Colorado? Yes. If so, you can go to DMV, bring your registration in, and tell them that they sent the title. They should be able to reprint a duplicate, and then you should be able to get your new title right then and there.
Well, Capital One did not address that.
Well, hold on.
It has nothing to do with Capital One.
Hold on. Here's what you need to know. This is the most important part. Not who they sent the title to. That title can be duplicated in a heartbeat. What you really need to know from Capital One, did they file a release of lien?
And DMV will be able to tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do that first,
all right.
and then let us know.
And
we'd be happy to help you. And again,
don't muddy the water by asking for a letter of apology. I mean, that's insane. You'll never get them to do that.
Well, that's fine. I didn't expect them, but I just asked as a matter of fact.
No, I know, Dahlia. I get what you're saying. But I say first, do a search on the vehicle. Make sure that they filed the lien release. Then just go for lost title. That's all you can do. 303-713-8255.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than
30 seconds.
$1 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
You know, Joe Cano is a trusted financial advisor that I use for information, and I ask him a lot of questions about annuities and other things. Whenever I need help, I call 303-779-7927. 6600 and say, Joe, what about this? So I'm going to ask him today, Joe, what about these times right now? Are they good? Are they bad? What are people finding? I mean, I heard today that the stock market's down nearly 400 points already.
I know, Tom. You know, that is the sad part. You know, people know this. I mean, they're complacent. That's what I'm finding out right now. People are very complacent. Most people know. They know that they're losing money. They know that the market is down. They know, but they're hanging on. And they're hanging on to a sinking ship. I mean, people come every day to the office, Tom, and they bring their statements. And, I mean, they have a perplexed look on their faces because they're losing money. And all they got to do is change course, change the ship that they're in. Or guaranteed plans, as you know, will grow and protect their money away from the stock market. And in addition to that, they're going to get bonuses. They're going to get a lifetime income. They're going to get long-term care benefits. And you know what I'm finding out right now, Tom? Most people want to pass it on to their heirs upon their death. And that's exactly what this guaranteed annuity that we have will help people do.
And by the way, it's not just one annuity he has. He can shop among 57 when it comes to your needs to find something specific to you, including long-term care, cost of living increases, and as he said, leaving the rest of the account value to your heirs. Here's the deal. You can call him at 303-779-6600, mymoneymyway.com, 303-779-6600.
Done Right Kitchens, Bath.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Okay, you're go.
Did we get Paul the Waterman on? He's unavailable?
I don't see she has him on, yeah.
Damn it. Did you try texting him?
Ten seconds.
Taking my call.
630 KHOW. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's talk to Nancy. Has a question for our attorney today on probate. Go ahead, Nancy. What is your question?
Well, I would like to avoid probate for my sons, so I have made them beneficiaries on everything that allows that. The one thing
when you say
I'm
everything,
about,
can you delineate when you say everything?
That my IRA, my all my checking accounts, savings accounts, and so forth. Actually, they are not beneficiaries. They are on it and could actively remove all the money from them if they chose.
What about the house?
The house is only in my name, and that's the one I'm curious about because I'd heard something about some paper you can get from the state and fill out so that it would go directly to them upon my death without going through probate, and I didn't know what that was all about.
Dan?
Yeah, so you can record what's called a beneficiary deed or a transfer on death deed. It's a deed that you fill out that just says, same thing as other beneficiary instructions, here's who gets this house, if a death certificate gets recorded in this county.
What? That makes sense, and I can find that online probably?
You can. I really caution people against doing their own deed work because we see a lot of people mess that up, and it's really hard to undo once you've recorded something publicly. So I would use some caution. And then the other thing we do recommend caution around is just it makes your sons equal co-owners of the house if you put them both on there, and no one's in charge. And if they get in any disagreement, it's like be a very difficult situation to deal with.
So what do you recommend? A partnership agreement or something? What do you recommend?
I mean, you could do something like that. That is sometimes where trust planning comes in, or just being okay with probate, frankly, because probate at least says here's who's in charge of this thing, and you got to go through the creditor notifications and all that hassle. But I mean, we just see some situations where two brothers or two siblings just don't agree. Should we sell this house? Which realtor should we use? How much should we charge? Are we going to take the first offer?
With estate planning, can you outline that?
Yes. That usually is the whole point. Yeah.
So, a beneficiary's deed is good, but are you going to be leaving it to more than one?
Everything's left equally to the two sons, but with many families, I understand there's issues. Excuse me. I am fortunate enough that is not the case with my sons, and also because they'll just turn it over to my daughter-in-law and say, you do it.
I hope so, because so many times, man, things change. But
no, that is not. My attorney that did the will asked all those questions 10 years ago, and it just I'm just very fortunate that it's not an issue.
Good, Nancy, and you're doing it the right way. Don't do a quitclaim deed. 303-713-8255. Mark has a question about reverse osmosis, and go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Tom, it's Mr. Superglue, more or less, because I got my superglue all over my fingers.
Yeah, and when you called Paul the Waterman, which is waterpros.net, he says, Tom, you know that reverse osmosis water you have at your sink that you drink, that you love, and that makes delicious coffee? And Dan will attest to that. This delicious coffee, he's here having some. So here's the deal. He said, take some of that water and put it in a cup, put superglue on your finger. I did. I let it dry. I used to have such a hard time getting it off. He said, soak it in that water. I soaked it for a mere 15 or 20 seconds, and it freaking took super glue off my finger. Anyway, go ahead now.
Well, mine was 1 day old, and it still took it off. But I don't understand what in the world is reverse osmosis and why. I mean, is it something chemically, or is it just more filtered, or what does it make that water so good?
Okay, first of all, reverse osmosis is a way of purifying the water, okay? And it has some kind of membrane, and it just, as Paul explained it to me, the membrane is so good that it can literally, and then the reason it's called reverse osmosis, it does something with pressure, which overcomes, I don't know, it pressurizes through a membrane, and then it supposedly takes out everything. And all I can tell you is it comes out super, super soft and clean. I, honest to God, don't know the chemistry. I don't. And I just would be BSing if I tried to tell you. But it's just a powerful cleaning agent. And why, I don't know. I think it's because when you have a lot of minerals and hardness, the water basically can't absorb it because it's more or less depositing it. So when you have hard water with
a semi-permeable membrane, so the water gets pushed through it with pressure,
right?
And except for the actual water, everything else sticks to it.
That's right. So this permeable filter or membrane means the water goes through, but nothing else. And I mean, it's down to the submicron level. So what it does is leaves nothing but water. What's great about this is that apparently nothing but water will attract everything because it is so clean and it's not burdened. It's just like when dry air attracts moisture. I mean, it's just sucked up into the air. A lot of people say, well, you don't sweat in Colorado. Just the opposite. You sweat more in Colorado than you do in Florida. People don't know that, but you actually do. You perspire more in Colorado. Why? Because you perspire, it immediately goes into the air. In Florida, you perspire, the air is so saturated that some of the sweat sits on your skin, which gives the illusion you're sweating more. So with water, when it goes through cloth and cleaning clothes and everything, it's absorbing all that crap. I don't know if absorption is the technical term, but adhesion or something, and it makes everything clean. And that's why it sucked up that glue, man. It just ate right through it and sucked it up. And the glue went into the water, obviously. It didn't disappear. So
what my question would be then is, let's say, you know how you mix things like 20 to 1 or 5 to 1, and they're cleaning solutions.
Right.
Would you not want to add that to this type of water? Or is it
hold on.
Regular water?
Well, let me just tell you what Zero Res does. That's what they use. And I think they also boost the alkalinity, which makes it even more clean, more of a cleaning agent. They don't mix anything in it. No, and when I say it, there's no BS. ZeroResDenver.com, they literally use just the water and found that it's an incredible cleaning agent and it's safe and effective. And that's why they do that. By the way, just as long as I'm mentioning them, I just got an email today. They're doing 3 rooms for $99, which is $33 each for 3 rooms plus a free hallway. 303-471-5150. So they don't add anything to it. So the question is, could you add cleaners to reverse osmosis to make it even more effective of a cleaner? I don't know. I don't know how you get better than reverse. I mean, if you could clean your car with reverse osmosis water, you'd be amazed. I put some from, listen to what I do. I take some of that water from the sink, from my waterpros.net system, and I put it into a bottle, and I take one of those new cloths, those microfiber cloths that feel this weird.
Yeah, they're very, very awesome.
Now you take that cloth and a spray bottle of reverse osmosis, and you can wash, I mean, unless it's caked on dirt, you can go over your car and it is, the bugs dissolve off it. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, and by the way, waterpros.net, they do, and when I say it, I mean it. They have the best systems at the lowest price. I mean, whoever thought of I got a triple filter reverse osmosis under $1,000 under my sink. What I'd like to do, and actually, I just thought of this while I was talking. I use it a lot at my hangar. I think I'm going to have one put in there because it is so awesome. And if you look at Zero Res too, it's so awesome. They use the same principle, that water that cleans. Anyway, we got to take a break. 303-713-TALK. Genesis Total Exteriors. Let's talk about storm damage. It's really important that you understand that they do it all. From the roofing, gutter, siding, fences, decks, painting, doors, whatever it is, they put it on one invoice, one source, one person to deal with that we know and love, and you can trust them. GenesisTotalExteriors.com, 303-679-8509.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Mark Moss Show.
We're back to easy driving throughout the Denver Metro after a busy Tuesday morning commute. I-25 north and southbound. We're showing highway speeds into and out of downtown. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. On the west end of town through Wheat Ridge, Wadsworth Boulevard northbound, roadwork continues between 38th and 44th Avenue with about 5 minutes of delays through the scene. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. The fall weather is in full effect. Partly cloudy skies today. High of only 70 degrees, nice and cool. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow, high 69, mostly sunny. Thursday, high 66. The current temperature is 59 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Ukraine's
15 seconds.
billion from U.S., Europe, and around the world. Yet, that's not enough? I'm Mark Moss, helping you navigate the decentralized revolution. Listen to The Mark Moss Show on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to download an app, and I'll tell you why, okay? So get ready for a website. Now, here's the deal. If you're even thinking about redoing your bathroom, you want to go to GiantGeneral.com and get the Giant General app. Here's why. It uses your smartphone's camera to visualize the improvement. In other words, you point it into the bathroom, there's instructions. You get a 3D image of your improvement. You can change out the sink, tub, tile, shower, and you can see immediately what it looks like. Seriously, different colors too. You can also then get an exact materials breakout and what it will cost to buy those materials on your own, and including if you want to hire contractors through the Giant General app. Take the mystery out of home improvement pricing. Get a detailed materials list with prices, quantities, and even the brand names they recommend. This is incredible. So all you have to do is download the app. Just play with it. GiantGeneral.com. GiantGeneral.com. You will be amazed. Hey, Simply Floors Inc. Speaking of which, you can always buy your floors at Simply Floors Inc., no matter what you use for an app. Simply Floors, what a wonderful place to go. If you're doing a dream home or a fix and flip, they have Proximity Mills flooring of all kinds. Every kind of floor covering, they got it. They got great prices, but here's the most important thing. The best installers, the best experts to help you with the job. 303-731-5380. That's Simply Floors Inc. That's INC, Simply Floors Inc. .com. Hey, you know I talk about family law, not because I want to encourage separation or divorce or custody issues or whatever, but when you do face a trying time, you want a law firm that will take the heat out of it. You want a law firm that will truly help you get through this trauma. Okay, that's what it is sometimes. They take the heat out with collaborative law. That means they agree with the other side not to file anything and to try to work everything out. If you need a law firm for family law, that's 303-515-5000. And get free information, all kinds of indexed information at harrisfamilylaw.com/webinars.
One of the things I'm looking forward to least.
Why did you people mess with my screener, God damn it?
What happened to it?
No, just the headings come off. I don't have the fields locked.
Mine looks totally different now.
What? Now, all I did was take off the
It used to take up my full screen almost perfectly. Now it's like half or three-quarters of my screen,
now
and then
that I don't understand.
it's all
That could be
blank.
your Zoom settings on your browser, but because I didn't change that. What I'm saying is once in a while, Kelly or Suze or me or you, if you can clear things out because you have permissions. So you could really fuck it up bad.
Yeah.
I don't have those. It's too hard to figure out how to lock those fields.
The chances of it being you are slim.
Right.
Slim to none.
That's exactly right. Damn it. Mark, look at your text.
Now, wait a minute.
Shut up, Mark. Don't say it on YouTube.
No, I'm talking about the bust your balls.
Oh, okay. Not about.
I argue the fact that it's not to gloss over this. It is not to bust your balls.
I just want to help somebody.
Yeah, no, I dig that.
I know. Because I knew right away. If I didn't give you a heads up, I would have heard so much shit. By the way, reverse osmosis.
10 seconds.
I wish that they
Oh, wait, Todd. Can't wait to talk to you later.
About what?
630 KHOW,
an iHeartRadio station.
All right. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. The Den Hair Company. Isn't that cool? It's a play off Denver, D-E-N. The Den Hair Company. I have never met a more skilled stylist in my life. Now, obviously, I don't have a lot of hair, but I swear to God, people have been saying, you gotta, I don't even know what this means. You gotta fade in your sides. You gotta fade them in. You gotta fade them in. You gotta do this. You gotta do. So I would have thought, and again, you can't see this on YouTube, but I would have said, who cares, right? My wife said, Tom, it makes a world of difference. But in any case, I just want you to know that this is the most unique experience you'll have, okay? And I am not, doing this because of a haircut. Trust me. I'm telling you that she is wonderful. Meg is her name. So the Den Hair Company. Here's the website. You ready? TheDenHC.com. Please look it up. You will absolutely love it. You're never going to find somebody more skilled. And I would give out her background, but I don't want to give the name of the place, but she trains people that have franchises. Let's put it that way. TheDenHC.com. And I'll give you a phone number, 720-739-0588. If you're looking for someone to create a great look and color or whatever you need. So, okay, Mark, make your jokes. I'll let you make a joke. Go ahead.
What kind of jokes would I have?
Yeah, you always talk about my hair. Of course my hair is thinning. My God, I have hardly any.
I can still comb my hair.
You know what's weird? I don't know. What's that, Mark?
I think I can still comb or brush my hair in your head.
Hey, I want to ask you something. Does your dad have thick hair like you?
No, he's got a lot of it, but it's super thin. It's
well, why is yours so thick? Does your mom have thick hair? Who do we take after with hair? Moms or dads? I don't know. You took after a small baby. I took after my mom. She had very thin hair. But anyway, really, I don't want to undermine this though. The Den. I love the name of it. The Den Hair Company. You know, it's a den like and it's not by the way just men.
Is it one of those? Is it like a fancy salon or is it like a sports?
I'm not going to tell you. It's a private salon. That's all I'm going to tell you. You make appointments. It's private. It's the Den Hair Company. And it's a private salon. Now, she may open another location. The one she has right now is pretty cool. And it's 720-739-0588, thedenhc.com. And there's some samples of the cutting on there for both men and women and the coloring. So, anyway, I just thought I'd give her a shout out. And here's the deal. We have covered every topic known to man, but I'm going to tell you some other stuff here today that you're not going to believe, okay? Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, just did two things that shocks me. And then wait. I'm not saying what you think I'm going to say. Number one, he vetoed a bill that would have given unemployment benefits to striking workers. Think about what I'm saying. In California, okay, we just have the writer's strike and all that, right? He vetoed a bill that would give any working person on strike unemployment benefits. Now, I know what you're thinking, Mark. Well, of course, it's logical. Why would you give unemployment benefits to people who want to strike? Well, you're right. But who'd have thunk that in California they would veto that he would veto that bill? Would you ever bet on that? If you heard there was a bill heading to his desk that would give unemployment to striking workers, what would you have bet? That he signed it, Mark? Would you have bet
he is starting to have really big aspirations.
Well,
so
he didn't sign it.
Shocking.
He vetoed it. Now,
I understand.
Here's the next thing he did. He repealed a California law. I swear to you, this law, by the way, should have never been a law. But he signs a repeal of this law. You want to know what? He didn't repeal. I mean, they all repealed it, but he signed it. The repeal. Do you know that there was actually a bill, a law in California called the COVID-19 Medical Censorship Law? Did you know that? That was an actual law. And here's what that law said, that if that medical professionals could be censured and receive punishments and lose their licenses. This is what the law said. I never even knew this existed. In California, a doctor could lose their license if you went against, listen, if you published or made public comments against scientific consensus. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is unbelievable to me that there was a law. Did you know that law existed out there?
That's not shocking.
No, but it was a law. So doctors in California, if you spoke against the vaccine, if you spoke against anything that was considered against scientific consensus. Now, what I want to know is, who interprets what scientific consensus is? I mean, do you take a vote? How do you figure out who's right and who's wrong? Like when Fauci said masks don't work, and then he said, yes, they do. They don't work on a national level, but on an individual level. What the hell does that mean? I don't even know what that means. But anyway, right now, that is no longer a law in California. Those two things shock the hell out of me. It shocks me that California actually did those two. Well, Newsom vetoed that law that would give unemployment benefits to striking workers, and he also signed the repeal of California's COVID-19 medical censorship law. God, can you believe the liberals in California went along with a bill that censored opinion? I mean, how can that happen? I like a variation of opinion. I even like, you know what? If you censor opinions, you're never going to know about the nuts out there. Let the nuts post to social media. Who cares? If these idiots post to social media and you want to, you want to read what they say, you can decide if they're a nut or not. Now, speaking of free speech, listen to this one. There's a case going before, oh man, this is like hard to believe. Honest, I know you think I'm making this up. There is a case going before the Supreme Court if they take it. And do you know what it's about? Did you know that there is something on campuses right now You're called, it's called a response team. It is called a speech, listen to this, a speech response team to determine if you have a right to say what you're saying or if it is hate speech. Now, here's what's funny. Do you know what they call hate speech? Anything they don't agree with. So, this response, there are what's called response teams. It's called a bias response team. You look it up, a BRT on campuses around the country. It's called a bias response team. And these teams determine if speakers invited to the campuses, posters, social media, essays, or discussions are too biased or not. Now, I want you to hear what I'm saying. There is called a bias response team. They go out and determine if things should be censored or not based on if they're biased. Now, the Supreme Court could weigh in on that because as a test case, Virginia Tech is being sued for its bias response team. And it's being sued by a group, some Alumni Free Speech Alliance, they call themselves. They're suing Virginia Tech over the bias response team. Did you ever believe that we would have, literally, a Nazi group, that's what I call them, they're Nazis, on school campuses deciding if you have a right to say something or not? That is America today. We got more coming up. Why didn't you say anything about that, Mark?
This report is sponsored by the Mark Moss Show.
We're back to easy driving throughout the Denver Metro after a busy Tuesday morning commute. I-25 north and southbound. We're showing highway speeds into and out of downtown. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. On the west end of town through Wheat Ridge, Wadsworth Boulevard northbound, roadwork continues between 38th and 44th Avenue with about 5 minutes of delays through the scene. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. The fall weather is in full effect. Partly cloudy skies today. High of only 70 degrees, nice and cool. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow, high 69, mostly sunny. Thursday, high 66. The current temperature is 59 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Ukraine's
15 seconds.
billion from U.S., Europe, and around the world. Yet, that's not enough? I'm Mark Moss, helping you navigate the decentralized revolution. Listen to The Mark Moss Show on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Vital home services, that's what I call them. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, drains. $39 gets a tech to your home from Fix It 24/7. The company I know and trust, the owners I know and trust for many, many, many years. And they'll come out for $39 to find your problem and then present you with a 100% guaranteed solution. If you decide to go with that solution, they waive the $39. They are the $39 people. It's the greatest risk-free way to do business. They're not there to try to sell you something, but to fixmyhome.com, fixmyhome.com, 720-526-3939.
Hi there from Barry Miller, host of your great...
How much time do I have?
Got a 4.5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I've never had a battery last longer than this iPhone 14. I hope that 15 does as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never had a battery last this long. I charge, if I charge once a day for a few minutes, my phone is on all night.
Seconds. 10 seconds.
United Hospitals. Learn more at Centura.org.
Denver's talk station.
Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here. We have open lines for the first time today. We got another 2 hours to go. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. We've had a lot of interesting calls today, and we've learned a lot. Minimum required distributions as you get older from qualified money. You add up your whole qualified plan, and at 73, you have to start taking money, or at 75 if you're born after 60, I believe it is, and you take a percentage of it, 3.65% the first year, and then it goes up after that. There's a formula called RMD formula the IRS sets out. So if you're interested in that and you're getting older, that's what it is. You have to start taking money out. We also talked about beneficiaries' deeds and how you can leave a home without going to probate, but they can be dangerous if you leave it to 2 people or 3 people or 4 people because they may not all agree on what to do with the house. But I imagine that could happen in a will as well, couldn't it? Dan?
Right, but the will usually puts somebody in charge. So usually you have a personal representative, and they're supposed to take the people's interests into account. But if there's, at the end of the day, if there's not agreement, they don't need,
Oh, okay, so with a will, you can spell out more terms and conditions on it?
Well, I mean, the personal representative, like if they decide that selling the house is the best for everyone, kind of taking into consideration everybody's interests, like somebody might be real mad about that. It's like, look, I understand you're mad about that, but I am the personal rep, and I've determined this is the best way to do it, and they do it.
Okay, otherwise, what if you left your home with instructions on a beneficiary's deed? Can the will give instructions? Oh, no, then a will would have to have probate. So you're defeating your purpose, right?
Yeah, the house passes out of probate, so they just own it.
Can you leave different percentages to 2 people?
Sure.
That would leave one in charge.
No, I mean, yeah.
Still all right, we got more coming up. Hold on.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website.
Beneficiary's deed, can you dole out a beneficiary's deed 60, 40, 50?
I would think so, yeah. I've never done that, but yes. It'd be a tenant in common thing, but even, I mean, if I co-own the house and I want to sell it, like, they better be on board.
You can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Just because you have a majority. Right? Yeah. Because it's an undivided interest.
Well, if it's 60-40, it is a divided interest. But
no,
still,
you're right. I meant it is a divided, meaning you can't just...
Yeah, you can't just sell it.
Right. Yeah. Interesting as hell.
You guys following this vote at all?
What vote?
Oh, man, they're voting to vacate or whatever they call it to get rid of McCarthy.
Oh.
It might be there, man. We might not have a speaker soon, and I'll be honest, I don't like the fucking guy.
But let me ask you something. There's no
It'll
way
shut the government down. It'll be crazy. Nothing will get done.
But there's no way a minority leader could ever be the speaker, right? I mean, unless
Anybody can be the speaker.
well, anybody. Can
Yeah,
be the
it's all in the
speaker.
votes.
If the Republicans turncoat, they could hire a Democrat speaker.
Well, then you would have to have Republicans voting for. You would have to have someone cross the aisle and vote for that person.
Right,
I'm not sure how many.
Of course. There's not much of a majority.
Well, that would just doom. They'd never get voted back in, though. It doesn't matter if it was Republican or Democrat. What'll be interesting is if McCarthy goes across the aisle and begs for some votes from the Democrats to save him, then he's really screwed. It's a big deal, man. It's really big. It's huge, actually.
Have they ever tried to get rid of a speaker before?
Sure, but Nancy Pelosi years ago changed it to where one member can't call the vote. And now she changed it to where it was a majority, I believe, over 50%. But in order for him to get speaker on this last round when the vote went down and the Republicans took the Senate, he agreed that one vote could bring up the vote now, which is how it used to be pretty much till Pelosi, although I don't think it was used much.
Wait, so only one vote it took to
Yeah, it takes one guy to say, I want to oust him.
for a vote of confidence.
Well, yeah, it's similar, but yeah.
Well, that's really what it is, a vote of confidence. It's not an impeachment, for God's sakes. He's still going to be in office.
Hell, well, I don't know how that works. It's not,
Well,
it's
he's
not
still
an
gonna be a
impeachment.
representative.
Yeah. It's really nuts, though, man. It's crazy.
Is it going on right now?
They're going to have first, Congress is so crazy. They're going to have a vote to vote. So long as the vote to vote goes, then they'll vote. It's insanity. He said he was going to go through that budget, pretty much line per line, and he didn't do any of that. He just made a deal, and the Democrats brought him through with it.
Newsom wants
MR says I'm raspy.
Newsom will run for president, if not this time, next time.
It would be interesting if Biden stepped down, decided not to run, and I don't know how that would. They would back, the establishment would back Kamala, I'm sure.
He will never give up.
But just like you said, Newsom's getting a little more center. Not that I would consider it center, but he's not insane anymore. Did you see that guy's mugshot that snagged that girl in New York?
No.
God, he looks like a... he does. He looks sketchy as hell.
I'm here, I promise. This, are you?
Of course they do.
You already did them? Look at you. I was actually going to have it ready, but it keeps doing the fail.
Speaking of sketchy, do I hear Dragon?
No.
Hey, take a look at the guy that kidnapped that girl in...
Shut up.
I thought that's why you weren't in this morning.
Well, exactly, yeah. If I had hair, that would be pretty close.
Oh, he's missing most of it, but you're right.
It's definitely fading away, but yeah, if I had more hair.
Tell me he doesn't look like he's on just, I don't know, man, like something pretty strong.
If it's out there, he's tried it.
Yes. He lives I think he lives in a fifth wheel behind his mother's double wide, if I have that right.
Real winner.
He lives in a van down by the river.
One step above.
Last segment. All right, 15 seconds, guys.
And $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Money. That's money. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. If you're looking for heating and air replacement, high efficiency may be the way to go. You save money every single month. Or electrification, if you have solar, they can do heat pumps for you to help offset your gas use on your furnace. It's 888heating.com. Honesty, integrity, and value for sure. 303-770-2776, 888heating.com. Remember, they come out of the woodwork this time of year. Please use a referral list at referrallist.com for your HVAC needs, please. Now, we have Dan McKenzie with us, attorney at law, and he is here to help. And he's answering questions on estate planning and estate law. So feel free to call about that or anything else you want to call about. Now, something that I find both interesting and troubling is in Denver, we have a councilwoman who is calling on the mayor to release budget documents he withheld from the public. Denver City Councilwoman Stacy Gilmore is calling on the new mayor, Mike Johnson's administration, to release a list of budget expansion requests that they turned down. Now, she just wants to embarrass him because she probably figures everything should be approved. But what's really weird is that in her video that she published, in a video statement, she says, come on, Mayor, you want to spend a lot of money, but there's a lot of stuff you turn down. What projects aren't getting funded? Why not tell us? But what I find odd about her tape is that she goes on to talk about transparency in government, how government should be transparent and should be accountable. And basically, I think that she's a liar. That's my opinion. I think she's a liar, and she really and truly, okay, she was sworn in 2015, so she's been there a long time. She's a liar because she herself is one of the people who helped hide from the public how much money they raise from the nuisance abatement law. She's one of them. You see, the nuisance abatement law, I'm making a claim, and I defy anyone to prove me wrong. The nuisance abatement law basically says if your car or house or motorcycle or airplane or SUV or RV or anything, any piece of property is used, listen to this, is not just used in a crime, listen, but suspected of being used in a crime, suspected, it can be confiscated and sold. Now, here's the main part of this. Please listen. If it's suspected of being in a crime, let's say a criminal was driving this car, and the car is confiscated, or an alleged criminal, and the case is dropped. He's found not guilty. Let's say it was a case of even mistaken identity, honest to God. And this has happened especially to black men and brown men. That's my whole assertion. That's my whole allegation here against Gilmore and her criminals on city council. Listen carefully and then confront them about it. So, we had a black guy one time accused of being a thief. They found the real thief. His car was kept anyway. Think about this. You see, it makes sense to some people when they say, well, of course, Tom, if you're a criminal, you should lose your stuff. You should lose your stuff. Like once a guy was in a pickup truck outside of a liquor store. His buddy, who owned the pickup truck he was driving, pulls into a liquor store to go buy liquor on payday. His friend is in the passenger seat. A policewoman approaches the friend. She is posing as a prostitute. They make a deal, supposedly. The guy is busted. When the guy comes out of the liquor store to get in his truck, he's told the truck is being confiscated under the nuisance abatement law. Now here's the rub. His friend got off. Nothing. The charges were dropped. He still lost his truck. This is how immoral it is. We had a Hispanic man driving his nephew's car. The Hispanic man was a fugitive. The nephew let him use his truck. The guy was picked up and arrested, but the nephew could not get his truck back. Now, I can go on and on and on. So, it was my contention that it happens to black and brown people more than anyone. The city profits from minorities with the nuisance abatement law. Why do I say that? Because if Buffy and Muffy were driving their van from Highlands Ranch and got stopped, and it turned out not to be a crime, they would have their lawyer write a letter, and guess what would happen? The property would be released. Because every single case, not one, every single case I investigated was a black or brown person. Every single case. And they were poor. So think about this, Stacy Gilmore and your pack of thieves. You have a law specifically targeting those who are in need. Now, I'm not talking about hardened criminals. If they're criminals, let them face consequences. I'm talking about the cases where the criminal case went away. We actually had a moron on our show one time trying to explain that. He said, well, Tom, he used to be a reporter for Channel 7. I don't know if he's still with the city even, but he arranged this interview. And it's on YouTube, the nuisance abatement. It's on YouTube. Anyway, this interview went with somebody from the city and him trying to explain that, well, even though the criminal case went away, it's still a civil matter. But I said, if the criminal case goes away, there's no basis for the civil matter. No basis whatsoever. Mark, do you remember we had this black guy, and I mentioned black man because it's against blacks and browns, this law, every single case we've investigated. Mark, do you remember the guy had his Cadillac, he took it to a shop?
Snakeskin. He had snakeskin seats. How would I ever forget that?
Now, he took it to a shop, and the mechanic at the shop
test drove it.
He pulled it into the garage.
Well, he pulled it onto the street at some point.
Oh, okay. Then the police arrested that man on a warrant. That man.
Yes, because he was in trouble.
Not the car owner, but the car.
Yeah, the mechanic. The home mechanic, let's call him that.
And because the car he was in the car when they arrested him, they took the car. Now, the black man that came to us for help, listen to this. He had called the city. You got to listen to this because this is almost hard to believe. But I hope Stacy Gilmore listens to this or the podcast or something. So her den of thieves and her stupid video saying we should be transparent. I'll tell you why she's not transparent. Okay, so they confiscate his car. He calls the city attorney, KKK Corey Gardner. I call him KKK Corey Gardner for obvious reasons. He talks to this guy and tells him, I'll make an appointment for next week. Come in on Monday at a certain time, and we'll talk about it. Now, this guy swears to God he called him, and Corey told him that. Meanwhile, Corey goes to court the next day. KKK Corey Gardner, the thief, the liar, the cheat, who, by the way, tried to get elected, and we stopped that. Remember, in school board down in Douglas County? Anyway, here's what KKK Corey Gardner does. He goes into the judge and says, we've not heard from the defendant or the owner of the car. They were issued a default judgment and sold his car, or tried to. We got an attorney involved and got the car released. We hired an attorney, Marco Bendinelli, who fought this for this guy. That tape is on YouTube as well. Now, what's amazing to me is Corey Gardner is a liar and a city attorney. And Stacy Gilmore, here's why I call you a liar and a thief. You say the city should be accountable. So, years ago, Westward magazine was doing an investigation on the nuisance abatement, and they wanted to see how much money was made with the nuisance abatement. I later wanted to examine the records to see, of all the confiscations and sales, how many of the people were black or Hispanic and poor. I wanted to put together a case proving my suspicion that probably 99% or more of the people affected by this law, they're targeted because they're black, Hispanic, and poor. But guess what the city voted to do, Mark? They voted not to keep records, because had they kept records, they would have to release them under FOIA. Isn't that what they call it? A freedom of information?
In other words, on the P&L or on the budget line,
that's right.
Instead of putting, hey, we received this money from taking people's cars, they lumped it in with other stuff and never broke it down anymore.
That's right, Mark. That's exactly right. And guess what? They also don't keep track of the individual cases, so there was no record for me to pull to prove that they are prejudiced, bigoted, racist, liars, and thieves. But they are. And I'll go to my grave believing that. So Stacy Gilmore, if you truly believe, I have a challenge for you, Tracy Gilmore. Please, someone tell her about this podcast today. If you truly believe in transparency in government, I challenge you to look into the Denver nuisance abatement law and how it affects blacks and Hispanics. You will find, I feel it in my bones, you will find that probably 99% of the people affected were poor black and Hispanic families, and you stole their vehicles even when there was not an underlying crime. That's the bottom line. So Stacey Gilmore, I'm all for your video talking about transparency and accountability. Why is this law allowed in Denver? Do you want to know why? Because people don't care. Why? Because it's affecting poor blacks and Hispanics. So while you progressives put on your inclusivity suits and your inclusivity eyes and makeup and hair, you're lying hypocrites. You don't care. Not one of you care. I think I'd be considered possibly a bit conservative in some issues. Certainly not socially, and I'll tell you this. I care because these people come to me for help. They lose their vehicles, their ability to work. They become homeless. What about the new mayor? Do you care? This nuisance abatement law should be outlawed. It should be done, or at least modified. Listen.
All right, let's take a break, buddy.
It should be modified so the only time you get to keep the stuff is if the underlying crime actually turns out to be adjudicated as guilty. More coming up.
Get ready, Colorado. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Colorado. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today.
All right, Tom, you're next in 10.
UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Hey, the best plumbing deals anywhere for water heaters. You're all plumbing. Colorado.net. Demitar went into business saying, I want to give great deals, and I'll still make money. $1,299 for a water heater, fully installed, the old one taken out and hauled away. That's even new water and gas lines. But listen to this one. A 50-gallon tank's just $13.99. Any size, he'll beat any price. That's right. Plus, he does repiping, and he can save you money on any plumbing component up to 90% off market pricing. Euro Plumbing, Colorado.net. You got to love it when people give deals. 303-668-6844. Genesis Total Exteriors. You've heard me talk about these guys for a long time. Why? Because I love the way they do business. They do everything from roofing, gutters, siding, windows, doors, decks, railings, painting, outbuildings, exteriors. Genesis Total Exteriors.com, meaning if you have storm damage, they can do it all, and it's all controlled by Mark Szymanski at Genesis. People that you can trust. I know I've trusted him for years. I've even used him. 303-679-8509, 679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. You know, the principle of the criminal versus the civil, the reason they separate them is because you don't have to have the burden of proof for civil as you do criminal, right? But at the same time, if it's mistaken identity and they find the real criminal, it's pretty fucking obvious that car wasn't used.
Yeah.
Even for a civil matter. And if the person had the wherewithal to fight it, they would win on the preponderance of evidence. Yeah. But they don't have the money. That's the whole point. They don't have the money.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show. Hi, Tom Martino Show.
On Troubleshooter Show, oh, Big Mo.
Okay. Okay, what's your name? Danielle. Okay. Okay. All right, slow down for me. Yeah, slow down for me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put you on hold, and Tom and Mark will get with you as soon as possible, okay? Hang on. Oh, my God. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show.
10 seconds, gentlemen.
Wealth, K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mark, your turn. Welcome to the show. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good, man. What's going on?
Hey, I wanted to tell you, thank you for suggesting JNS Transport. They transported my vehicle and did a great job.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm glad that worked out. Where'd you have the vehicle transported?
Kentucky, to Castle Rock, Colorado.
So did you buy it sight unseen?
I did, and it was so much cheaper than anywhere else I looked. So even with paying for shipping, I saved money.
But it was a brand new vehicle, right?
It was a 2022 with 6,000 miles, so basically brand new. Yep.
What kind?
It was a Nissan Pathfinder.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Dave,
welcome to the... Go ahead, Mark. What?
Oh, sorry about that. I'm asking for, you had JFR Cars on the other day, and they were doing consignment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell a car, and I was just going to see if you wouldn't mind throwing it over the airwaves to see if anybody needs a car. I have a used Nissan Murano. I know I put it on Facebook and all that.
What year is it?
The crap. It's a 12.
How many miles?
70.
70K, a 2012 Nissan Murano. Good condition?
Yep. Very good condition.
How much are you looking for?
Well, I was thinking around 11-ish.
So where do you want people to contact you?
I mean, you could give them my number, I guess.
Go. No,
I
you
don't
give
know
him. You give him your number. This is all on you. I don't want to be responsible for any kind of shysters that call you.
I've already had the shysters because I put it on Facebook.
Oh my God!
But,
Every one of them.
Yeah.
What were some of the gimmicks? They wanted to pay you more, and then you pay back, right?
No, the new gimmick is they want your phone number, which I'm giving out now, but then they want a code that they will send you.
Ooh,
And
I
then
wait
when you
a
give
minute.
them
Why
the
are they
code,
sending you a code? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That code is to get into your bank account.
I think it's actually to use apps to use your phone number as a secondary number. They can use that code to download like text apps, and they use it to
Yes,
try to fraud
well,
other
that,
people.
what happens is, that's right. To prove it's your number, you have to send them back a code. So when they go in and try to impersonate you, they have that code. Yeah, do not ever do that.
That's right.
But anyway, if you want to give out your contact information for a 2012 Nissan Murano with about 70,000 miles, and you want to get $11K for it, then you can give out your number.
Or could I just give it to Kachina or somebody? And
Well,
just say,
we
hey,
don't
if
want to
anybody
become
calls,
a clearing.
I get
Honest
it,
to God, Mark, I'd love
I
to,
get
but
it, yeah.
we can't just keep doing that. Now, I'll tell you what. I
understand. Yeah.
I'll tell you. Do you want to give him what you ought to do? Get a Gmail address or something and call us back. If you don't want to get out your cell, I don't blame you, but we can't really. I don't want to be taking calls for a car for sale and then forwarding to you and being like this clearinghouse. We're just not set up for it. 303-7.
No, that's fine. And maybe I'll call JFR Cars too and see about
Yeah, they're going to charge you a fee, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
303-713-8255. Dave, what did you want to do, Dave? Some clarifying information? What's going on, sir?
Yeah. Did you say it was Corey Gardner that tried to sell that guy's car in a court?
Corey, I believe that's the city attorney's name. Why?
It was.
No, because I don't think Corey Gardner was ever city attorney, was he?
I
know
think
he's
he
a
was
US
an
senator
assistant
and a
city attorney or
representative.
something. I mean,
This must be his brother.
No. I think we have. I hope I'm getting. I think it is Corey Gardner. I'll look, but I think that was his name. I got to look on my notes.
He was in charge of nuisance abatement. That's what he did. I don't know what his damn title was, but he was
no,
the
he
guy.
was an attorney because he did go into court.
And he ran for Douglas County, something in the school district.
Okay, because I just don't remember him being.
Do you know him?
I voted for. I mean, he was a U.S. senator and stuff like that. But I just
wait.
I
Was
may be
was
wrong,
he?
but I
No.
can't find anything.
No. It's not Corey Gardner. Sorry. God Almighty! It's not Senator Corey Gardner. What the hell, Mark? It was.
Damn, Tom, you got me all screwed up now.
No. Hold on. Damn it! You're right.
This guy's right. Corey Gardner's a senator.
It's not him. Well, he's not anymore, but it's not him. It is absolutely not him. It's Corey. Damn it! I'll look at my notes. But you're right. It was Corey something.
Just check out your information before you give it out. Then that's all I'm asking.
Thank you for oh my God, thank you for helping me, Dave. I've only been in broadcasting
Not a
50
problem.
years, and I never thought about checking out. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I know.
Do you have any other advice? Like I have advice for you. Go to hell. We have more coming up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
I got to figure
A
out
couple
that
minor
guy's
slow
name,
spots to
damn it.
occupy your noon commute. Let's start near downtown Colorado Boulevard northbound. A brand new accident reported at Colfax. We're seeing stopped up traffic back from 13th Avenue,
Corey,
heading to the west end of town through Wheat Ridge. Wadsworth northbound. Roadwork continues between 38th and 40.
KKK Corey, says Mark.
I know, but I don't know his last name. I got to figure it out.
Downtown. Fox 31, pinpoint weather.
It is
partly cloudy
KKK.
skies
It's
out there.
Corey
Fall
for
weather is
sure.
in full effect. We're seeing a high
But I
of
don't know his
70
last
degrees
name.
this afternoon. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 69.
Not Corey.
Thursday
Corey.
high 66.
Damn
The
it.
current temperature in Denver is 63 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW. Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com.
10 seconds and then it's you.
Blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Let's talk about John Fuller, a personal injury attorney. John Fuller. And there's an emphasis on personal because what John does is he gives you personal attention. He's the only attorney that takes your case and works your case. That is his pledge. He wants his law firm to be only as big as it takes to work each and every case. That's what he wants to do, and that's what he does. And you'll benefit from it because he talks to you directly from the first time and keeps in touch with you throughout the case. Of course, he has paralegals and assistants, but he is the attorney on your case. You even get a cell phone number where you can call or text at any time. That's John Fuller, Fuller Law, myaccidentlawyer.co. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. myaccidentlawyer.co. Reverse loans are still in play for people, even though interest rates are a bit higher. The accrual against your house, you'll never lose your house because of that. And Empower Reverse can tell you and show you how to put equity to work for you if you want to get rid of your house payment or maybe have a line of credit, a lump sum of cash, monthly payments, whatever it is, Empower Reverse can help you decide if it's a good option for you. Our exclusive reverse lender, EmpowerReverse.com, 720-500-7719, 720-500-7719. Corey Nelson. God damn it. Corey Nelson.
That's it, Corey Nelson.
God.
Make sure you get your facts right.
Oh, get your facts right. I feel so bad for Gardner. God almighty.
Come back and let's do another correction.
Gosh, dang it.
But don't forget to blame Kelly. It was her fault.
Of course.
Corey Gardner's a good guy, actually.
He is.
Yep.
I did many shows with him.
What was the caller's name that called to correct me? Because I want to thank him. I'm
Dan.
serious.
I
thought it was Dan.
It was a D something. Dick. His name was Dick.
It was Dick. It was Dick?
No, it was Dave or Dan or something.
Damn it.
I'm just going to go with Dick.
I'm not going to get his name wrong.
No.
It was Dick Lippy.
Yay. Lovely. We love that. Doesn't seem to have a powdery substance to it. Looks like a check. Something from Omaha. Don't know.
Hi, this is Scott Trout, of course. Salvation. 9 chances a date. Hey, Hal.
5 late. Listen.
Oh.
Turns out to be adjudicated. Care annual note.
Damn it! Mark made me make a mistake.
Shoot him. All right, couple seconds.
All right, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I want to clarify, and I want to thank that caller. It wasn't Corey Gardner. I slipped. It's such a common name because he was our senator, and he was a good guy. Corey Nelson, the scumbag city attorney that ran for school board was Corey Nelson, KKK Corey Nelson. I'm so sorry, Senator Gardner, or ex-Senator Gardner, whatever. My God. But anyway, I'm going to chalk it up to age. How about that one? No. Anyway, truly, Corey Nelson was the guy. So if you listen to this podcast, anyway, Corey Nelson was the guy that lied in court and all of that crap. KKK Corey Nelson. So I'm going to clarify that as many times as I have to, but it was Corey Nelson. And I don't know if Corey Nelson is still with the city, by the way. I have no idea. I just Googled him. He was a candidate for, let's see, it says...
I think it was like Douglas County
He has
Treasurer.
been a prosecutor and a licensed attorney, and he graduated, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he's listed under Parks and Sanitation. I don't know where the hell he's been, but in any case... Corey Nelson was the guy's name. If you ever meet the guy, he's dirt in my opinion. And yeah, I do have an opinion about this public official. He's dirt. And I don't know what he's doing right now. But whatever he's doing, I wouldn't believe a word he says. Not a word. Danielle, what's going on with you? Hello, Danielle.
Thank you for taking my call. I want to join the general consensus that Mark be renamed Marc Miner. That's your humor for the day.
Okay.
Second point is...
now, what did I do? I'd love to hear this one.
Go, Danielle.
No, I just want to hear what I did.
Well, Mark, let her talk and she'll tell us. Maybe.
Okay.
You know what you do.
What did I do?
Moving right along. Never mind. Deal with it later, okay? I'm talking to Tom right now. Thank you. Okay,
God, you're
Tom,
such
you
a
asked me to call
bitch.
back
Okay,
for-
Mark.
You heard me.
Mark, let her talk right now, just for a minute.
What?
Then
Oh
we'll
my
figure it
gosh.
out.
Yeah, you heard me. I've heard you
Mark.
call in before.
Mark,
Okay.
seriously, let's just take it, and I promise you.
That's all she does, though. She never says anything else, Tom. That's
has
it.
She called before?
Oh, my God. It's her favorite thing.
Yeah, I have a, Okay, Tom, can you please take the rest of this call? This is a very important class action lawsuit that I think a lot
Yeah, a
of people
bunch
would
of
want
people
to-
are coming after her because she's
Here's
like
what I'm gonna ask you.
Frankenstein.
Seriously, Mark, I get where you're coming from. If somebody calls up and just drops a bomb, you want to know why, and we'll get to it. I
No,
promise.
if they called up, honest to God, Tom, if they called up and said that about you, I'd hang up on her ass.
I have
Thanks for the
never-
support.
I have
Mark,
never said anything.
Okay,
Danielle,
Danielle, let's
give
just
you any support.
Danielle,
Okay, Tom.
Danielle, why are you
Yeah.
saying that about Mark?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious.
Because of that attitude that he just exposed right there.
You started it.
It was because it.
Yeah, go ahead, you old
Because of the
bag.
day when it was your birthday, when everybody was celebrating your birthday, and a guy mentioned, I think he should be called Marc Miner. And so I just was listening.
Who do you think put that birthday thing together for me, old bag?
Okay, Tom, I've been meaning to call you back and report.
Mark, let me explain something. No, Mark wants an explanation. Mark, when she said he should be called Marc Miner, to me that's a joke. I don't think she was being...
No, that was no joke. Ask her. She doesn't go any further than that. I don't know what her problem is, besides she's an old bag.
Okay, hold on. Danielle, just tell me about that one issue called the IRS. What is it?
Okay. The IRS, I've been trying to tap into the equity of my home for 2 years. And I'm in touch with, there's 4 senior advocates across the nation. The one that is of dark skin color, Mr. Larry McTaw, won an award this past summer on July 4th.
Who cares?
He was nominated by the...
But Danielle, I don't understand. When you say you want to tap into your equity, what do you mean?
Okay. Right.
I don't know what you mean, and I don't know what the dark skin has to do with anything. I'm not feeling good about this right now. Hold on, just put her on hold for a sec. Just put her.
She's a prejudiced old bag that calls all the time.
Mark, come on, man. Okay, I get it. I don't know what she's calling about. Kachina, get some information off the air and let me know, please. I don't know what. I thought
he's got dark skin.
Mark, I thought she was joking when she says Marc Miner. I mean, if people joke, let them joke. They joke about me all the time. However, I don't know where she was going when she said dark skin. See, that just, something's weird. That's all. Floyd.
Yeah, her.
Floyd, go ahead. What's going on, Floyd?
You were talking about that, Corey.
Corey Nelson, not Corey Gardner. Yes, thank you. And thank you for that caller for bringing that out. He saved my ass on that one. Go ahead.
It's Corey Weiss.
Oh, come on. I got Corey Nelson wrong, too? No.
I think so.
No, Corey Nelson. No, it was Corey Nelson. It really was.
I was pretty sure it's Corey Weiss because isn't he also was running for something a council seat in the city there? Not your city, but
no. Corey Nelson was running for school board in Douglas County.
Yeah, it's him because he's Corey Nelson, assistant city attorney at one point.
Now
I was pretty sure it was Weiss.
Corey Wise is a person. I have no doubt about it. But we're talking.
And
about
there,
Corey
hold
Nelson.
on. At a special meeting of the Douglas School District Board, I see a Corey Wise, W-I-S-E.
Yeah, he was on the board. I saw that when I was searching too. But
I
Corey
don't think
Nelson
that's the guy.
is the guy.
No. And the Corey I knew, I was talking about, I believe it's K with a K, and this Corey Wise is with a C. So truly, thank you, though, Floyd. I mean, seriously.
I'm looking at his LinkedIn right now. It is definitely Corey Nelson.
Okay, and Floyd, thank you for wanting to clarify it because I don't blame you. Anyone who thinks they want to clarify, I'm willing to listen. So thank you. But I think now I got it right. Finally, Corey Nelson with a K. Now, Kachina, Danielle wanted to talk about what?
So the couple things that she wanted to talk about, she's party to some class action lawsuit that's going to sue title companies, and that's what she was trying to get
a
to.
Title company. Why is she suing title companies?
Well, that's what she wanted to talk to you about. And then the second thing is that she's got a website for people who want to get information, www.ir3.gov.
IR3,
those are the two things.
Like a playoff, but it's not loading. IR3.gov is not loading.
She said it might be .net,
okay,
but she's not sure.
Okay, www.ir3, like a play on IRS, .net? Yeah, maybe.
It could be .net or it could be .com even. She wasn't sure, but
okay.
I figured that it was probably .gov.
No, .gov, no, because this is something from people who are against it. So I think, yeah, none of it's working. So anyway, I didn't understand, but the one thing that did puzzle me was why she mentioned the dark skin. I don't understand that at all. And again, she did start off kind of just, I thought she was just joking. I'm still not sure. All I know is this, I want to move on. And if she has something specific about this class action, I'd be happy to talk to the attorney. 303-713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
A couple slow spots throughout the Denver Metro to occupy your early afternoon commute. I-25 north and southbound, we're seeing highway speeds through town. Near downtown Colorado Boulevard, a crash reported at Colfax with stop-and-go traffic back from 13th. On the west end of town through Wheat Ridge, Wadsworth Boulevard northbound. Roadwork continues between 38th and 44th with about 5 minutes of delays. Otherwise, a pretty beautiful drive throughout the Denver Metro. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. The fall cooldowns are in full effect. High of only 70 degrees this afternoon. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 69. Thursday high 66. The current temperature in Denver is 66 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 K-House. Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blinds.
Here you go, Tom. You're next. Go for it, Tom.
SimplyFloorsInc.com. That's the website where you're going to get great flooring deals. But more than that, you're going to get expertise on selecting the right kind of flooring, whether it's engineered floors or solid hardwoods or laminates of any kind, carpeting. They can do it all. Luxury vinyl planking. Simply Floors Inc. Buddy and Karen Mitchell are the pros, and they have the best in-house installation teams around. And the best warranty department. I just love the overall experience. SimplyFloorsInc.com. 2 locations, 470 in Quebec and 52nd and Ward. 303-731-5380. 303-731-5380. Hey, if you're ever in trouble, and I mean criminal trouble, I hope you're not, or you know somebody, Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. He's been advertising with me for more than 25 years, and I'll tell you why. Joe Lazzara gives free initial consultations, and then everything he does, every case he takes, is on a flat rate for the entire case. So you're not nickel and dimed, and you know the price going in. Now, I hope you're smart enough not to drink and drive. If you ever misjudge, if you have a problem, you can't go through this system alone. Lazzara Legal, Joe Lazzara. Find him at referralist.com or call 303-429-6200, 303-429-6200.
Okay, again, just go ahead. Okay, again, go ahead and compile that email that explains everything that you're doing, what you wanted to talk to Tom about, and then I'll go ahead and pass it along to him. Just make sure you include your contact information. Troubleshooter.com, all one word. Yes. However you want to describe it. You're the one that's telling us what's going on.
What is this?
No?
What is
I
this
would
messaging?
probably label it with something like information for Tom, and then make sure that you include your contact information there so I know who you are.
Oh, this is LinkedIn messaging. I see. I never.
Okay, I've got to get to some other calls, so thanks for calling. Nope. Just put them all in one email of what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, I've got to get to some
And
other
give her
work,
my-
so thanks so much. Okay, bye. Wow.
Is she normal or a nut?
No, not in the least.
What part of bitch didn't you get?
She
At
is
first, Mark, it sounded like
all
a joke.
over the place. She babbles.
No, she's done it. She's done it twice before,
I didn't
like
know
a
she
year
called
ago
in.
and about
I don't
2
remember
years
her
ago.
calling in before. Anyway, go ahead. What'd you say, Kachina?
She babbles a lot and is not making any sense whatsoever. She's not coherent.
Okay. All right.
So I thought the easiest thing to do would be to have her send an email, but then she was confused on what to put in the subject line and what to include in the body of the email.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good afternoon.
What's
Thanks
an
for calling
email?
the Tom Martino Show. How can I help you? Oh, if you can hear me, all I'm getting is static. Call me right back. Hey, Mark, you got a FedEx. I'm just going to put it in the office.
I got a FedEx?
Yep.
Is it ticking?
Make sure
And
there's
is it
no
from-
fucking powder in it.
Is it?
That's what Dragon said.
Is it from her?
Here's hoping. It's a love letter.
Oh,
Smells like
yeah.
Perfume.
Yeah, I know what it is. Suzanne just told me.
Well, what is it?
Credit card replacement.
Oh, wait, it came to the station? That's terrible.
Well, no, my major radio, that's the home address.
Hey, Mark, if I need to get, or Suze, ask her, if I need to get just a replacement card, will they make me change my number? It literally wore out.
I think they might do it automatically. If his card just doesn't work anymore, do they make him get a new number to send a new card?
No, but is it his referral list?
No, she said no, actually.
I have a new referral
What card is it?
It's my TSN, my card.
TSN.
It just, whenever I swipe it, I mean, they say it doesn't work anymore. The
chip
the
problem.
swipe and the chip, none of it.
All right, 15 seconds, guys.
Conservative Talk Radio. Wake up on the right side.
Mornings with Michael Brown.
And keep it right.
Afternoons with Dan Caplis.
Love the show, love the station.
Denver's talk station.
That's just good radio.
630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, so let's talk and find out what we can do for you. We have Dan McKenzie with us from McKenzie Law. I did get a few texts we can talk about. Dan, what is the rule? Somebody wants to know on ex-wives. Now, do you have to specifically, if you're married to a new wife, does it matter how long you were married? Is there any special treatment you believe should be done in trusts or in wills to disinherit a first wife? Can a first wife clutter up things and contest wills? And how does that usually work?
I mean, really, the only risk there is just if you had kids together and that, the ex-spouse, if anything happens, those kids are still heirs of yours, and, they could come up the works there.
Okay, and that is what I think this texter wants to know. I was asking that question. The texter wanted to know, when it comes to kids and new wives, do kids take precedent over new wives? Is there any time? And people are curious about that. So let's say you got a dad with a lot of money, or a mom with a lot of money. But anyway, you have a parent with a lot of money, and you're like 3 siblings. And all of a sudden they get married to someone new and young. And can that person take everything?
I mean, when you get married, you're obligated to leave part of your estate to that person unless you have some sort of prenup or written agreement in place.
Even if you're only married a short time, or is there a certain amount of time?
It's based on the length of the marriage. It's 5% per year of marriage, up to 50%.
So wait a minute. No matter what, if you get married to someone, no matter what, unless you have a prenup, you're saying, you have to automatically leave 5% a year up to 50%.
Right. If you don't, the spouse, and you pass away, and the spouse has been disinherited and not included in the plan, they can make what's called a spousal election and take that amount from the estate before whatever else happens.
I didn't know that.
That's why when you said earlier about separate properties, that doesn't matter. I mean, it's called the whole estate is put together, augmented estate, and everything is put together, and the spouse is entitled to a certain percentage of that.
By the way, Dan McKenzie's here, coplans.co or 833-CO plans. He'll be with us through the next hour. If you have any questions, problems, or complaints of any kind, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, or 303-MARTINO. More coming up. When it comes...
Woohoo! Woohoo!
So my whole rant is bullshit now. Because
You quiet down there, Mark Miner.
Okay. Corey Garden. Can I get you anything? You want me to fill up reverse osmosis?
Oh, yeah. All right. Take some... Yeah, pour that out and give me the reverse stuff.
The one thing that did puzzle me was why she mentioned the dark skin. Reverse.com 720. Sound good? But how's that even?
Hey, Dragon.
Yo.
Let's use that for a show promo where I call her a bitch.
The name because he was our senator, and he was Denver's talk station. I decided us up. Art, Brandon. This is Denver's talk station.
Give it up, then. That's all.
255 Dave. What?
Okay, because
Actually, you should. Cut up the one where Tom's screaming at the one guy for correcting him. And then follow that directly up with me calling her a bitch. And then tune in tomorrow.
I'll look at my notes. But you're right. It was Corey something.
before you give it up, then that's all.
Well, thank you for oh my God, thank you for helping me, Dave. I've only been in broadcasting 50 years, and I never thought about checking out. I'm sorry. Thank you. Do you have any other advice? Like I have advice for you. Go to hell.
Now follow that up with the you bitch.
Hang on, let me see if I find that one.
TheArtGranite.com. And she'll tell us.
You know what you do.
What did I do?
Most mind. Deal with it later, okay? I'm talking to Tom right now. Thank you.
She did the exact same thing a year ago.
Yeah, I'm talking to Tom right now.
Quit talking, Mark.
Yes. Yes.
That's good stuff. Did I get the whole segment? Nope. Crap.
Trying to get my emails to less than 100 before I leave for Hawaii.
None of it's working. So why she mentioned the dark skin,
Oh my God, I have so many emails, I hate it. And the percentage of junk emails is just crazy. I'm pretty sure when you unsubscribe, they sign you up for 5 more.
puzzled me was why she mentioned the.
Why are you going back in the day?
Boy, you're stuck on that brown guy thing.
Just trying to get stuff for the podcast. We got to do things differently now. So
What do you got to do?
Oh, it's insane.
The system that we're using pulls from the cloud, and it hasn't updated that next segment yet, and that's as far as it's letting me go right now.
Oh, so you're stuck.
Yep.
Hey. Well, I never heard of updating to become slower.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the most popular new adjustment from the producers.
We can't pull straight from the board anymore. We have to pull from the cloud services. So, which takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get this last hour. So it's great.
I noticed, and the one thing I noticed, there is no flavor.
No. Yeah, it's good.
That's why I like
No
it.
flavor of what?
There are no flavors, no minerals, no like after
Pizza he just ordered.
Yeah. should have
All right.
known.
Should I slander someone else
Sure.
Why not?
with a wrong name?
All right, 10 seconds, buddy.
Keyword on our website. Win. That's win. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. This hour brought to you by 888heating.com. Yes, get your high-efficiency heating or air replaced. This is the season to do it. You're not under pressure. High efficiency is what they specialize in at great values. They even do electrification. If you have solar or thinking about it, you can get a heat pump that helps to take some of the load off of your gas-fired furnace. But call them for details. You'll get honesty and good value. 303-770-2776. Hey, so Dan McKenzie's with me, attorney at law for estate planning purposes. We learned something very interesting. Of course, for him, it's common knowledge. But when you have a spouse, you can't just disinherit him. If you're married to them for a year, it's 5% a year, up to 10 years, 50%, that you must leave them, or they can make a spousal claim. That's for new spouses. But the old spouses, once you're divorced, though, they can't go back and calculate something that they are owed, can they?
Probably not. Maybe if there's some weird creditor claim or something like that, but most divorce agreements should resolve that issue. Usually there's some life insurance.
So once you're divorced, you have no obligation to leave anything.
Right.
All right. Now, let's talk about your problems, questions, complaints. The number is 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I want to recap something because I just have to. Earlier, I was talking about the nuisance abatement law, and I mentioned what I considered the crooked city attorney. And in part of that rant, I mentioned his name was Cory, KKK Cory Gardner. It's not Cory Gardner. Cory Gardner was a senator. He did a great job. Nothing against him. The guy's name I was talking about was Corey Nelson. Thank you for a caller who called up and said, I don't think it was Cory Gardner. And then we looked, and of course I had it wrong. In my notes, it was Corey Nelson. I didn't look at my notes, but bottom line is it had to do with the nuisance abatement law. And there are some videos on our YouTube that you will find about the nuisance abatement law. It's a really terrible law. Now, without going into that too much, I want to talk about some news that I think is important, the stock market and what's going on. Now, the stock market is big time dropping. Why do you think? Well, I don't know. And again, I want to bring this up. I asked one of my people that I know very well who runs my hedge fund what's going on. And fortunately for me, when there are bad stock markets, we shine even more. But here's what he said. Mark, I want to know what you think about this because you do some dabbling in the stock market. He said usually late September through early October are seasonally bearish anyway. Have you noticed that?
I think it's more to do with interest rates, man. I mean, you know how hard it is
now
to sell a home right now.
he goes on to say that Treasury yields, yes, and the dollar are pushing higher, and that puts the downward pressure on stocks. He believes there may be a bit of a rally into the holidays. And he says also some gains from earlier this year when the S&P was doing great, they might be redeployed toward the end of the year. And then he said tech and AI are really overvalued, and whatever this means in terms of forward multiples. In other words, they're predicting these returns and then doing the multiples, and they're overvalued. So what do you think? And a part of that is what you said, the interest rates, the T-bills, right?
Yeah, well, interest rates for sure. I mean, just in general, it is so hard to move right now. It's scary. I mean, I'm not saying it's Jimmy Carter years and we're at 14%, but we could easily see 8% really soon. A good friend of mine is in that business. His wife got laid off during COVID because the industry she was in, and now this happened to him. And I mean, they were high on the hog. I mean, I wish they saved more and did other things, but it's there's so many people in that boat right now, and they're trying to sell their house, and it's very hard to sell a home right now.
Yeah. Now, this is more economic news.
How about credit card debt highest ever?
I know. In fact, it's incredibly high. And that's an artificial bubble, just like the student loan bubble. I mean, we got some serious stuff going on, and it just keeps going and going and going. Now, on the topic of crude and oil and gas, do you know that right now it will soon pass $100 a barrel? And some petroleum economists are saying it could go to $150 a barrel. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at a 40-year low, meaning to replenish it will take an astronomical amount of money, and the benefit it gave Biden for lowering gas bills will now come back to haunt him and make make gas even higher as he tries to replenish it. And if we don't replenish it, it is going to be a big, big problem, they say. Do you know that the strategic reserve is at a 40-year low, and they say it's like 40 or 50% of what it should be? I don't know if people realize that, but that was a total political move. To make gas prices come down a few pennies, to look good, they start drawing out strategic energy reserves. They were not meant to be used to make a president look good. They were meant to be used in times of war or civil unrest in other countries where our imports were disturbed. So, man, if oil goes up much higher, that's incredible. Can you imagine? Mark, do you remember one time you said it was going to go down to $10 a barrel? Do you remember that? You and Dan were talking.
It was this was weird because it was COVID. Forget about $10 a barrel, but we had gasoline in Parker, Colorado, and Elizabeth, 99 cents a gallon, man.
But didn't you believe there was no pressure on the oil markets and they were going down, 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 down? I mean, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what happened.
Well, we've got more oil under us than anywhere. For the life of me, I'll never understand their philosophy of buying oil from Saudi Arabia when we have it right here.
Didn't he shut down that major pipeline, one of his first executive orders?
Yeah, they sure did.
Now, speaking of the government and control, guess what? There is a list of appliances that the government, the energy secretary, wants to take actions to force new efficiency standards. And here's what's being targeted. This is really important because it's going to mean right now, not only is it going to affect prices, but it will affect stocks of these companies that make these things. But here are the appliances. The number one appliance being targeted, we all know, gas stoves. Number one, they want to push new efficiency standards and eventually phase them out. You know what's amazing? We have so much natural gas. We have thousands of years left in natural gas, but they're going to do away with us using it. Think about that. I mean, there were even talks, there was so much natural gas, of making vehicles run on natural gas. Did you know there were some natural gas vehicles for a while? In fact, I thought Excel had some of them.
UPS, some of their trucks are run on natural gas.
And doesn't it burn cleaner than gasoline?
That's what we're told.
Well, you're never going to make anyone happy. I mean, my God.
Guys, I got to bring this up real quick. This is insane. This McCarthy thing. So they just had the vote to squash it, meaning they would not have a vote to get rid of him. That didn't go through. So now they're going to debate for about an hour or whatever the time set is, and then they're going to vote again. I'm starting to think this guy's going to be ousted. Then after he's ousted, they got to sit there and vote until they hire someone new or elect someone new is a better way to put it. This thing's really crazy. This could really happen today where the Speaker of the House is literally ousted.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would pass the first vote. The first vote was to squash the second vote, and it didn't work.
So we will know today.
We're going to know probably in an hour, hour and a half. It'll be every bit of an hour, hour and a half because they have to debate it. I mean, it's so crazy. I think that shuts down most of the government when it comes to at least the funding side. I wish we knew an expert. I bet Ross or someone might know, but I don't know who would know because I don't know if this has ever happened.
Do you know, Mark? In fact, it's the first time in U.S. history that a speaker, I'm reading now, the Speaker of the House has ever been voted out of office. In 1910, Joseph Cannon, a speaker then, offered a motion to oust himself.
Oh, that doesn't count then, right?
Right.
Why would he do that, though? Now you perked my curiosity. That's
weird.
All
I did was put in a search term, has a speaker ever been ousted?
Here's the part I don't get, man. I don't like McCarthy, but I don't understand these people on the very far right in Congress that want to oust him. And I guess I do understand why they want to oust him. I can't figure out their end game. I wonder if one of them would get enough support using the Democrats to become Speaker, which would be
No, you know what? They don't.
Crazy.
They have a very, very, very thin margin.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's going to be weird if one of these 11 or 10,
they could have
whatever
a Democrat
the amount
speaker, is what I'm saying, because the margin, all they have to
No,
do is,
we wouldn't have a Democrat. They're not going to vote a Democrat speaker. That's not going to happen.
Okay, you're sure there wouldn't be one or two turncoats that would turn the majority?
I cannot imagine they'd never get reelected. I mean, that would be political death.
Okay, now. In other consumer news, we're talking about the regulated appliances, gas stoves and ovens, clothes washers, refrigerators, freezers, air conditioners, dishwashers, pool pumps, battery chargers, ceiling fans. Why ceiling fans? Dehumidifiers, microwave ovens, portable electric spas, and air compressors. That's a partial list of the Biden Energy Department's wish list to control new efficiency standards, which will definitely raise prices on these appliances and hurt the companies. But, hey, it's all part of the church of climate change. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time.
10 seconds, Tom. You're up next.
If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Earlier in the show, we talked about how super soft purified water can really take super glue off your hands. It is such a powerful cleaning agent, high alkaline super soft purified water. And Zero Res Denver You know what they're doing? They're putting this to work. That is their technique. Only water. No soap, no chemicals, no solvents, no emulsifiers. And then they have a patented scrubbing technique to get out the dirt, dander, leaving no dirt-attracting residue. That's really the big thing. Less water, no dirt-attracting residue. By the way, these people, you know what they can do? They can get out everything, and you will be amazed at how fast your carpets dry, no dirt-attracting residue, and how long they stay clean. Right now, $99 for 3 rooms with a free hallway. 303-471-5150. Get the really clean, zero-res clean, zeroresdenver.com. 303-471-5150. Hey, Frank Duran, the real estate man, I can't say enough about him. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, you will never do better than having Team Duran on your side with RE/MAX Alliance. Frank Duran will even do a free analysis of your home to see what you can sell it for based on the market, the neighborhood, the comps, and supply and demand, everything, including interest rates. Frank Duran, the real estate man, free analysis. Then he'll even tell you what he thinks you can buy with the proceeds. 303-920-1622, frankdurantherealestateman.com. If you're looking to put a beautiful new look on your bathroom, think about renewhomeinnovations.com. Those beautiful, it's not an insert or a cover-up. They take out that old shub. That's the tower, the shower and tub, combo, that ugly old tub that you have to step over. They put in a beautiful no-threshold shower. You can walk in, perimeter drains, benches, grab bars, soap dishes. It's all made to custom with stone resin walls that look like stone with no maintenance, glass block or glass walls in the front, no shower doors needed. RenewHomeInnovations.com. 72 months to pay no interest, and they can do the entire job in 2 days. 303-904-2000. 303-904-2000. Charity runs.
Somebody bought a ride at an auction. And where do you go?
Boy, I'd love to know Vegas odds on this deal.
So what stage is it in right now?
So they voted not to squash the measure.
Right.
Excuse me.
So they're going to have it.
No, but now they have to debate for an hour before the actual vote to oust him. Then they'll hold the vote. I wonder what the effect on the stock market would be.
Stock market doesn't like change. It's not going to be good.
Well, it's kind of weird to what you just said, Dragon. Nothing is going to change. There'd basically be no new legislation, I guess is what I'm saying. Everything would be exactly it is now, but nothing would move forward.
Wow, is this an incredible idea?
Ten seconds here, guys.
Local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. 630 KHOW.
An iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. And we have Dan McKenzie with us. We're still taking calls if you have any right now. First time we've had open lines, so get right in, and we'll try to help you any way we can. Now, Dan, I do have some questions coming in, and one is about, Tom, you mentioned creative ways to preserve assets and to avoid probate, one of them being an LLC. Now, the way I understand an LLC, Dan, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but the way I understand an LLC is a limited liability company, and you get to pick the members and put property in it. So if an LLC owns something, let's just say it owns something, a business, or it owns some property, whatever. If I'm in that LLC and I die, that LLC remains, doesn't it?
It can. It depends on if you have an operating agreement and what that says.
Okay. Can I have me and my children in that LLC, and then they just take it over?
Yeah.
And that is almost like a trust, for goodness sakes. I mean, it mimics a revocable trust, no?
I describe them as very similar, same structure and everything else. The difference is just that LLCs are supposed to be for income producing purposes, like business.
Can they invalidate it? Can it be challenged? Is there a problem?
Well, people get excited about LLCs and they start wanting to put their personal property in there. Like, I get questions like, should I put my house in my LLC since it's giving me asset protection? And I'm like, no, because that's going to blur that line between the personal and the business. So LLCs are for business, trusts are for personal.
So you wouldn't put personal property in an LLC to pass it through death?
You can, actually. Sometimes we do that, like with second properties and real estate especially, but it's not giving you asset protection like an LLC typically would, because it really is for business, not for business purposes.
They can pierce that if they want to, is what you're saying.
Probably.
But it may not give asset protection, but it certainly does give a convenient way to pass it on.
It avoids probate just like a trust does, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, Mark, that's amazing. Don't you find that amazing? I mean, you do.
So if someone had an LLC and let's say they died, and let's say it was a restaurant, and they owed a lot of back rent on that restaurant, they owed maybe their personal landlord, and I don't know if there's personal guarantees in this or not. I'm simply making something up. But that LLC that owns the restaurant, it doesn't live necessarily on, does it? Or does it live on?
Oh, well,
and if the person that died had a lot of assets and the LLC had a lot of money, can people that were owed money by the LLC actually go after the person that died's estate?
So what you're saying, Mark, if the debt exceeded their cash flow and stuff and they didn't pay it off at death, but it had a bunch of property worth what they owed, could they force a liquidation of that LLC?
It depends on, like, was it like one person who had all that debt? Because yes, they can get what's called a charging order and step into that person's shoes, but that's not a very powerful remedy because basically they're just entitled to the distributions, and the LLC can say, we're not going to make any distributions as long as you're around, which is why when you have an LLC, so many people that you deal with will require you to sign personal guarantees because they know. They're gonna have a lot of
almost
difficulty.
anything.
Yeah.
So I guess it wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, I guess that it's better than nothing if you want to pass on stuff, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, again, as far as personal property, like, I would use a trust for that. It's more flexible, it's more under your control, and again, you're not really getting asset protection for personal property thrown into an LLC anyway.
Does a trust have to go into a lot of detail? It should. The more detail, the better, right?
We think so, yeah. Our trust documents, frankly, are pretty long. We have a trust right now that we're dealing with that's 4 pages, and people think, oh, well, that's great, so simple. And it's like, no, it leaves so much out that it's actually harder. So, having more instruction, more detail, from our perspective, is usually helpful.
And then the trustee, who do you leave as trustee? It's got to be someone you trust, obviously, the whole name.
Yep.
Or do they have to go by the document? Could an heir of the trust say the trustee is not following the trust and oust them?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that can be a source of litigation. Yep.
So there are ways to oust trustees. So do you put that in the trust that if the trustee's not doing their job, or successor trustees?
We certainly do. I mean, we see trusts that don't really say much about that. There is, if you want to Google, the Colorado Uniform Trust Code. So there's also statutes controlling these things because there are certain things like you're not allowed to do with trusts. So sometimes you just got to be careful with that. You understand that language too. It's not just the trust documents governing how things go. It's also the statutes.
All right, I want to ask you something that is a little challenging, but I think people are wondering. Is there such thing as a simple trust? Let's say, what would differentiate a simple trust from a complicated trust?
I mean, from my perspective, a simple trust is just one that just is designed to put stuff in it. It avoids probate. We do the administration, and then we just shoot everything out outright, and we're not going to continue on with the trust for the long term.
What is that? What is a complicated trust? What do you mean continue on? Like if I wanted a trust not only to survive death, but to have my children a little bit controlled on the assets so they don't squander. Is that more of a complicated trust?
In my view, yes. Yeah, a simple trust again. Like if your kids were old,
then everything is basically dissolved, not dissolved, but distributed after death.
Correct. We do the administration. We deal with the creditors. We file the taxes, and then just boom, here you go, kids. Here's a check. You're done. That's a pretty simple trust.
But the more complicated trust would be where the trust still maintains control of assets, so the kids can't just spend everything in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's one thing, but also protects them, right, from other people too. So
right.
Yeah, so it's not just a burden on them. It can also be.
But does it really protect them once you die? Because it's a revocable trust, right?
No, after you die, it becomes irrevocable.
Oh, until the terms of the trust are met.
Right. Right.
Very,
because if they could just change it.
So it does protect your children from lawsuits and stuff.
Yeah, because they didn't choose this. So like, look, I'd love to give you this money, but it's in this trust over here, and it says I can't pay my creditors.
I can only give it to you as I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so then what would a simple trust approximately run from low to high?
Well, depending on married or single, I mean, for us, like to do the whole plan. So with a simple trust, you still have a will, you still have powers of attorney, there's still reasons to do stuff because you're not going to get every single thing into the trust. So, you're probably looking at somewhere between, $1,000 to $3,000, depending on married or single. There's still a lot of provisions that you have some decisions.
Okay, and then what about a complicated trust that goes on after your death for 10 or 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, that can be more in the $2,500 to $5,000 range.
Okay. Anyway, that's McKenzie, Dan McKenzie, McKenzie Law, and that's 833 CO Plans. I love the way he thinks, though, because he thinks let's do simple first if we can, and then you don't complicate things just for the sake of complication. And I think a lot of times, as I said in the beginning of the show, people overcomplicate when it comes to, the passing of assets, and also
I like his straightforward pricing.
Yeah. Anyway, 303-713-8255. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
A couple slow spots throughout the Denver Metro to occupy your early afternoon commute. I-25 north and southbound, we're seeing highway speeds through town. Near downtown Colorado Boulevard, a crash reported at Colfax with stop-and-go traffic back from 13th. On the west end of town through Wheat Ridge, Wadsworth Boulevard northbound. Roadwork continues between 38th and 44th with about 5 minutes of delays. Otherwise, a pretty beautiful drive throughout the Denver Metro. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. The fall cooldowns are in full effect. High of only 70 degrees this afternoon. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 69. Thursday high 66. The current temperature in Denver is 66 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Hey, if you're thinking...
Coming up next, Tom.
You need to stop and check out the insane, amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. To learn all about it, just pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text message from iHeartMedia.
Frank Duran, the real estate man, with RE/MAX Alliance.
Sorry, that's my fault. Hang on. I'll get you after this one.
And he knows how to aggressively market your home.
With our specialized marketing knowledge, we aggressively implement the most advanced, innovative, and proactive marketing plan you will find anywhere.
For all things real estate, do not hesitate to call 303-920-1622. Or
let's do it for real this time.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
You know, if you are looking for water heaters, I love talking about Euro Plumbing. I asked Dimitar one time, how can you get these prices for water heaters or give these prices to people? He says, I've chose to make less profit to do more volume, and this is the way I want to do it. I want to have savings. And I'm telling you, other plumbers ask me, how the hell does he do it? To replace a water heater, a 40-gallon water heater, taking out the old one, removing it, putting in a new flex line for gas and new supply lines for water. He does it for just $12.99 and a 50-gallon for $13.99. The bigger, he'll still save you money. He'll save you on everything plumbing. Euro Plumbing, Colorado.net, 303-668-6844, 668-6844. Hey, Genesis Total Exteriors, can't say it enough. You will want Genesis if you have multiple storm damage areas like the roof, the gutters, siding, windows, doors, decks, railings, fences, staircases, outbuildings, painting including. They do it all, and they do it with one source, Genesis. And he takes care of all of the headaches on one invoice. He deals with your insurance company. Genesis Total Exteriors.com. 303-679-8509. 303-679-8509.
Upgrade your home with lifetime today and experience the ultimate in quality and savings. Featuring top-of-the-line Infinity from Market Windows, Lifetime offers only the best for your home. Right now, buy one window and get another 50% off with no payments for 2 years. Plus, Lifetime's industry-leading lifetime cares commitment protects your investment for the long haul. Transform your home today with the experts you can trust. Call 720-740-8064 or visit lifetimewindows.com.
One of the things I'm looking forward to least in my retirement years is navigating Medicare. Advantage plans, Part B, supplemental plans, who can keep track of it all? Integrity Health Advisors, that's who. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky, and Integrity Health Advisors only represents plans that they have vetted and truly believe in. Their guidance costs you nothing, but can save you a lot and make sure you get the doctors and the care that you want. So get in touch with Integrity Health Advisors today to get on the schedule for the upcoming open enrollment period. IntegrityHealthAdvisors.com. Imagine selling your home and getting paid twice. Sound good? But how's that even possible? To sell your home and get paid twice. You can do it with Orchard. It's simple. Orchard makes you a solid cash offer on your home. If you agree, boom, here's your cash for your next home. Orchard handles everything from there, including paint, repair, list, and show your home. And if your old home sells for more than Orchard offered you, you get the upside cash. That bears repeating. When your old home sells for more than Orchard offered you, you get that money.
Don't? Okay. Got that one.
That happens 97% of the time with Orchard. There's so many home buying companies trying to lowball you.
Sucks. You could win at our factory.
And really, if you're looking to button your bathroom, think about Renew Home Innovate. By the way, these people said how fast your 471 everything. And Clip 22, Frank Duran Shove. That's the tower, the shower, and tub. Amazed at how fast your carpets drop. Scrubbing technique. In the show, we talked about how super soft, pure fun. Wait, talk to your. I'm Tom Martino, 303. Hi. Hi.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, man.
Did you read Hiram's email?
Whose email?
Hiram.
Oh, you mean on the company?
On the app.
Yeah.
I mean,
no camera.
Don't you think they should? I mean, that's like.
I don't know, man. I don't know Endgame on it. I just don't know.
I mean,
Endgame might be trying to get financing for it.
But I mean.
Oh, hold on. I got to take this. This, Mark.
Ten seconds here, guys.
Spirit of excellence. Service at home. Servants at heart. Schedule online. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. PlumlineServices.com. That's PlumlineServices.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Robert, welcome to the show. You have a question on mortgages. What's going on, Robert?
So I got about 18 years on my mortgage left. I owe about $200,000, and I was just all of a sudden, the wife and I decide, we want to pay off the house maybe in 10 years. How would I go about figuring out, or who would I talk to?
Okay, I want to ask you a few questions. How old are you?
I'm 54.
You're 54. You want to pay it off in 10 years. You have 18 years left. Okay, that's easy. Then do you have what interest rate do you have?
I think it's 3.8.
Okay, so right now, you're right at did you have a 20-year loan?
It was like a 20-year loan.
So you're only 2 years into your loan?
Yes.
Okay. You can do this in a number of ways. I wouldn't overly complicate it, because if you have a good rate, you don't want to refi, okay?
Yes.
But what you can do is and what I'd like to do is get one of our experts on to explain this in detail. But here's what you need to do. You need to take the 18-year loan and basically get an amortization schedule. It's a 20-year loan, really. But you're on payment number, I don't know, you go 20 times 12, whatever you're on, whatever payment you're on. You go to that line, and here's really how simple it is. On each line of the amortization schedule, you have the due date, the principal, and the interest, and the total. So let's say you're on payment number, I'd like to be more accurate, but let's say you're on payment number 10, okay?
Yes.
You'd probably be more like, let's just say what it is. Let's say you're going on payment number 25. That's probably more likely, okay? But whatever it is, you go to line number 25. That's your next payment. And so what's your house payment, bro? What is it?
$1,600.
Okay. So you go to line 25 and you make out your payment for 25 for $1,600 for line 25. Then you make out another line for additional principal and another check, or you put it in there and you put, you really have to make sure it's applied to principal. So I would write a separate check to principal. And you go to so you're on line 25 and you write your regular payment because you got to pay that interest.
Yes.
Then you go to line 26 and look at the principal payment, okay? And then that's what you make along with payment number 25. So you're making normal payment number 25, and you're making principal payment number 26 in addition to that, okay? Then the next time, what line do you go to? If you've already made 25 and you've made the principal for 26, the next time you go to your schedule, where you go to 27, and on 27 you make that payment, and then you go to the principal on line 28 and make that principal.
Okay.
If you keep doing that, do you see what you're doing? You're leapfrogging lines and you are cutting it in half. That's how you do it on your own. Or you can simply make extra principal payments when you'd like. But I would rather do it where I can keep track of exactly where I am. And your
Yeah.
lender should either give you an amortization schedule, or you can download one and put in your variables, and you'll have your own.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. And I think it's a good idea. Everybody, and not everybody, but in the beginning it's very, very easy. Later on in your payment, the principal is going to be quite hefty, and it'll be like making double payments. In the beginning, it will not be. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So get an
does.
amortization tell, and again, ask advice of someone if you don't understand that. But that's how you turn yourself into a quick loan. Now, if interest rates were favorable, and then you refied into a 15-year or a 10-year, you would get a lower rate than even the market, and you could do it that way too. But this way is just as good if you have a good rate. 303-713-8255. ProBid Energy is a solar company we know and trust, and you can too. Now listen, there's a lot of fly-by-nights in the solar business. They do sales, installation, and warranty. No other company does all three of those. ProBidEnergy.com, 303-623-1531.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Mark Moss Show.
A couple slow spots throughout the Denver Metro to occupy your early afternoon commute. I-25 north and southbound, we're seeing highway speeds through town. Near downtown Colorado Boulevard, a crash reported at Colfax with stop-and-go traffic back from 13th. On the west end of town through Wheat Ridge, Wadsworth Boulevard northbound. Roadwork continues between 38th and 44th with about 5 minutes of delays. Otherwise, a pretty beautiful drive throughout the Denver Metro. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. The fall cooldowns are in full effect. High of only 70 degrees this afternoon. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 69. Thursday high 66. The current temperature in Denver is 66 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Ukraine's received 150
10 seconds here, Tom.
to Europe and around the world, yet that's not enough? I'm Mark Moss, helping you navigate the decentralized revolution. Listen to the Mark Moss Show on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I love Garage, the elite garage floors for garage coatings. Why? Because it just puts a finishing touch on your house. Elite Garage Floors does such a great job. Here's what I like, okay? They have no money down ever. Until the job's done, then you pay. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. The guaranteed lowest price. And for as long as they're around, they're going to take care of that floor if anything happens. EliteGF.com. 720-939-2448. EliteGF.com. If you're looking for a reverse loan, Empower Reverse is our exclusive lender, meaning for reverse loans. I like the way Mark Massey and his team take the time to answer all of your questions. That's the main deal, because it might be just what you need. You might need home assistance later on in life. You can get a line of credit that grows every single year. The borrowing power, no matter what your house value does. And that leaves money available for you to borrow. And you never have to worry about paying it back or losing your home. Here's the deal. EmpowerReverse.com will explain all terms and conditions. Or you may want to just get rid of your house payment. 720-500-7719. 720-500-7719. You know, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies also recommends reverse loans sometimes. Sometimes they recommend different things depending on your situation. If you want to build a nest egg, if you have a nest egg, if you have a retirement built up and you want to make a lump sum payment to get income, whatever it is, they can help you with investments, insurance, long-term care, all of the elements that go into a retirement plan. What I love about them is they have a very low fee structure compared to what they save you, and they do save you money. They save my bacon. I use them. You can too. Get a free analysis. Whether you're younger and you want to build a nest egg or you're older and you have some money, call them 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211. rpcenter.com.
Imagine never.
This moron. Man, alive. Is he a fucking moron? He keeps texting me. totally doesn't know shit about what he's saying. It's about that civil forfeiture.
Well, it was a total nightmare of Schwab buying Ameritrade.
Why?
I have so many accounts. Every account is a pain in the ass to move.
I didn't have to move shit. All I had to do is get a new username and password. They moved everything.
Yeah, well, so depending on the type of accounts, they haven't moved IRAs yet. They haven't moved SEP accounts, or maybe they did move SEPs,
Mark,
not
every
IRA.
single one of my
half of mine moved over.
Listen, I have
half
a
of mine
401k.
moved over. Half of mine are still at Ameritrade.
Okay, they moved every single one of mine and sent me a notice of the old account number and the new account number and a login, temporary pass. They sent me everything in one email.
And they did that on some of my accounts, but not others.
I wonder why. That's weird.
They said like Roth and IRAs will be the last to go over. SEPs had to go by September, so my SEP's over there. They just had a different. I don't know. There's no fucking rhyme or reason. But I know this. I'm filling out paperwork left and right to try to get them moved now.
Yeah, every one of mine are over there, and I don't know why it went so smoothly. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So, Dan, like I told you, man,
dang it.
I'm sure that it might be easier to start over on this one than David started. All I'm trying to do is just, can I take my corporation and give it to the trust of my house and I can make one trust? Yeah. And then my business. Okay. So I don't have to, I can't move assets from the business into the trust.
You could.
Yeah, I have a contract.
Hey, did you have an HSA?
I didn't.
I mean, never. You've never had one.
Yeah, I did. In the very beginning, I had one quickly once.
Well, I just wondered, when you get onto Medicare, can you use your HS? Well, I don't know how it works.
You don't. Your benefits pay for that mandatory one.
So what happens is then you probably just start withdrawing from it like any other account. Like it doesn't have to be health only then, right?
I don't know, Mark.
Download our free iHeartRadio app. 630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So I was talking to Dan about setting up a trust or finishing my trust that was started, and I never really finished a lot of it. And Dan, here's the bottom line. If you move business property or assets out of your business into a trust, not the business, but just some of its assets, do you lose the business function of that property where you can't depreciate it or write off the expenses anymore for your business? In other words, can a trust own the assets, but the business still operate and use those assets and write off the expenses?
Geez, that's a
complicated
complicated question, probably that I'd ask a CPA, but I would think that, you got to be careful about the tax benefits there. There might be some way to paper up some sort of transaction between the two entities so that the business is still using that asset.
And is there a tax event when you put stuff into a trust?
Not a revocable trust. If it's a revocable trust, that still is yours, in the IRS's eyes. There are certain irrevocable trusts that are done for asset protection, and there is some gifting.
Is there any disadvantage to putting the entire business into a trust?
Not that I can think of. If it's just you on both ends of that transaction, I don't think so.
And then, so virtually everything you have can be put into a trust.
Yeah, that's really the goal.
And you don't have to separate it into different trusts. Unless you want to.
Unless you want to.
What would be the purpose of separating your stuff into different trusts?
So, like, we had a client recently we set up 2 different trusts for.
Why?
Because he and his current wife have kids together, and then he had a kid separately, and he wanted to do something different for that separate kid and not have her mixed in with everything else.
I get it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. There's a guy that keeps texting me. I mean, I don't mind him texting me about the nuisance abatement. And he says, Tom, you don't know. I mean, he basically, what he's implying is I don't know what I'm talking about, because he says a criminal case, even though it goes away, there are still civil remedies. So the city has a civil remedy, and it says that the law says
that's what Donald Trump's going through right now.
Yeah, but I understand that. But the whole point I was making is this, Mark. It says that according to the municipal code, he says that if the possession of the property is unlawful, if the owner establishes by a preponderance of the evidence that it's unlawful, the owner may get the property back, basically, okay? Because he was not the party that created the nuisance. That's true. That's the whole point, though, is they target people who do not have the money to fight the civil case. Because this guy could have gone against Corey Nelson and fought that he was just dropping his car off for repairs. The whole point is that Corey Nelson went in and said, oh, no, he didn't show up. I'm not talking about even that. What I'm saying is, what do you think a civil case would cost to do that? It would cost thousands of dollars that minorities normally don't have that they attack. That's the point, you moron. Oh, I'm Tom Martino. Remember, 303-MARTINO. Leave a message. We'll get back to you and save all your problems for me.
Follow Tom.
See you guys.
See you, buddy. See ya.
I guess Mark wants to do that. Go ahead, Mark. Okay.